Chapter 48-47. Yu Huan did not expect this strike to cause his entire body to tremble. He did not dare to underestimate Jiang Chen at all. He raised his arms to block, sending out a pulse of Genesis Qi to meet Jiang Chen's attack. However, Jiang Chen's sword was too powerful. He was confident that his attack could kill an unsuspecting half-step star rank expert because Jiang Chen had used 90% of his power. Since Yu Huan had underestimated him, Jiang Chen would make him suffer a lot. Yu Huan's expression changed slightly. He had originally believed that defeating Jiang Chen would be a piece of cake, but this attack had dispelled all such thoughts. Yu Huan did not attack because he had already said that he would let Jiang Chen attack first. This was the confidence of an expert. If he attacked again, wouldn't he be asking for trouble? Wouldn't he become the laughingstock of others? Hence, he gritted his teeth and endured the attack. The waves of numbness from his arms made his eyes turn even colder. Jiang Chen really could not be underestimated. No wonder he dared to provoke me. It turns out that he does have some ability. Boom! Yu Huan and Jiang Chen each took a dozen steps back. However, Yu Huan only defended and did not attack. Hence, it was hard to say who was stronger, but at the very least, no one dared to underestimate Jiang Chen anymore. Instead, they looked at him in a new light. The battle was starting to become interesting, and the spectators were growing more and more excited. There would indeed be nothing to see if it was a one-sided suppression, but if it was a life-and-death battle between a new king and an old general, it would be much more interesting. Gah! Jiang Chen, you really make me more and more interested in you. Yu Huan sneered as he slowly clenched his fists and gathered his battle intent. He did not dare to be the slightest bit careless. With an angry roar, he charged forward. My Genesis Stone is not so easy to obtain. If you don't risk your life, you may not be able to obtain it. Jiang Chen said coldly. The limitless sword instantly launched a desperate battle. Jiang Chen's strength was no longer comparable to an ordinary half-step star level. This battle was full of danger for Yu Huan. Every move of Jiang Chen's was sharp and full of killing intent. Although Yu Huan was at the second level of star transformation, he didn't dare to fight with Jiang Chen to death. This guy fully demonstrated what it meant to be abnormal. Yu Huan was depressed. He had never met such a strong Star Emperor expert. Although there was only a slight difference between a half-step star level and a peak Star Emperor, the difference was like heaven and earth. It was extremely difficult for a peak Star Emperor to defeat a half-step star level master. However, Jiang Chen was taking a stroll in the park. More importantly, he was at the second level of star transformation, not the first level. Leviathan Fist. Yu Huan's fists were filled with the light of Genesis Qi. His imposing manner was extraordinary and domineering. Every punch was filled with murderous intent, like a Kuan Pang in the sky. This was Yu Huan's true strength. Back then, he had relied on the Xueqi fist to fight against 10 experts, and he had never fallen into a disadvantageous position. Yu Huan was very confident in his own strength. The shadow of the fist and the light of the sword kept converging. Although Yu Huan's fist was ferocious, Jiang Chen's attack was stronger than his opponent's. His sword energy shocked many people around him. Jiang Chen's name began to spread among the crowd. He was almost evenly matched with Yu Huan. This kind of strength was enough to prove his strength. No matter what, the strong would always be respected, even if they were your opponents. I fought Commander Yu before. His Leviathan fist is very terrifying. It seems that Jiang Chen is really a dragon in the river. I have indeed underestimated him before. The fact that he was able to exchange dozens of blows with Commander Yu without a clear victor has already made him famous. It is enough for him to establish a foothold in the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. But Jiang Chen doesn't seem to want to lose to Commander Yu. Both of them have a strong desire to win. Ha ha ha, that's even better. I hope that a dark horse can emerge from our Horsemen of the Apocalypse. If that's the case, I won't have come in vain today. There was no lack of people in the crowd who looked at Jiang Chen differently because they hadn't experienced such a fierce battle for a long time. In particular, the battle between Commander Yu and the newly promoted knight Jiang Chen attracted the attention of countless people. Jiang Chen had just made his debut, but he was already filled with killing intent. The two of them were facing off against each other. This kind of battle was the most exciting. The heavenly dragon sword was peerless and peerless, shocking everyone. Yu Huan's Xueqi fist could no longer suppress Jiang Chen. Both of their strengths were rising continuously. It was hard to tell who would win in a short period of time. I have never doubted his strength, Asu said faintly. The battle between Jiang Chen and Yu Huan had given him great inspiration. He had wanted to fight Jiang Chen before, but he didn't have the opportunity. After this battle, he was even more certain that he was no match for Jiang Chen. If he could absorb the strengths of the two people in this battle and make up for his weaknesses, perhaps he would have some hope in fighting Jiang Chen again. Yu Huan's limitless sword was full of vigor. Accompanied by Jiang Chen's domineering momentum, Yu Huan was already somewhat stretched. The two constantly exchanged blows and collided. It was undeniable that Yu Huan's Leviathan fist was very domineering, but Jiang Chen's limitless sword was not weak either. On the contrary, Yu Huan was somewhat passive. If this continued, he would definitely be seriously injured by Jiang Chen. Yu Huan's face was gloomy and full of unwillingness. He could not lose today's battle, not only for the 500 million origin stones, but also for his reputation. If he lost to Jiang Chen, he would never be able to raise his head in the Apocalypse Nights for the rest of his life. His reputation was greater than the heavens. Yu Huan could not tolerate Jiang Chen's pressure. Like I said, Jiang Chen definitely won't disappoint me. Even if it's Commander Yu, he definitely won't be afraid. Jiang Chen saved me many times in the past. If it weren't for him, perhaps I would have died a long time ago, and it would be impossible for me to be standing here. Tong Ling vowed solemnly. Tong Ling swore solemnly. He had absolute trust in Jiang Chen. As long as Jiang Chen was here, the sky would become bluer and clearer. Tong Ling was also quite shocked. He had saved her from death several times. It seemed like her younger sister and Jiang Chen were really friends who had gone through life and death together. It might not be as simple as the feelings between a man and a woman. Although she didn't like Jiang Chen, if he had indeed saved her younger sister many times, then perhaps she really should change her attitude towards him. However, Jiang Chen had already become the public enemy of most of the older students. He was too arrogant, and too despotic. How could she not teach such a person a lesson? Otherwise, wouldn't he be taking advantage of her? The Apocalypse Nights were not a place where just anyone could behave atrociously. Chapter 48:48. It's impossible for him to defeat Commander Yu in this battle. Commander Yu's power is far from being fully displayed. This is just the tip of the iceberg, Tong Yao said in a deep voice. Jiang Chen's chance of winning was still not high. Although Yu Huan seemed to be on the passive side, it didn't mean that he would lose to Jiang Chen. However, he had not used his trump card yet. Before Tong Yao's voice fell, Yu Huan clenched his hands, and two giant axes appeared in his hands. The black and gold axes surged with a cold light, and the cold gleam on the axes' blades caused countless people to exclaim. The black and gold axes weighed more than 5,000 kilograms. As they swung down, they covered the sun and sky, giving off an indescribable feeling of suffocation. The sky-splitting blood dragon blade. It's Commander Yu's ultimate weapon, the sky-splitting blood dragon blade. Oh my, it seems that Commander Yu is really angry. Otherwise, he wouldn't be this angry. Jiang Chen will lose without a doubt. This is more satisfying. Ha ha ha, Commander Yu. Let this arrogant fellow experience the true power of us horsemen of the apocalypse. That's right, you can't lose to this kid who just advanced. Commander Yu, I support you. Tsunami-like voices continued to resound, waves rising one after another. Yu Huan wielded the sky-splitting blood dragon blade, mighty and domineering. Go to hell, Jiang Chen. My sky-splitting blood dragon blade is not something you can block. Ha ha ha. Yu Huan roared furiously. His gigantic axe swung down from the sky. The power of the axe shook the heavens and the earth. Jiang Chen wielded the heavenly dragon sword and blocked, but he was forced back dozens of steps and finally stopped at the edge of the arena. Jiang Chen's expression was solemn, and the web between his thumb and forefinger was split open. This axe strike could be said to have displayed Yu Huan's true momentum. Jiang Chen knew that this fellow was finally going all out. He knew that the dignified commander of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse would never be so weak. The ground beneath Jiang Chen's feet cracked inch by inch. More and more people cheered for Yu Huan. His might was unparalleled. Again, Jiang Chen said through clenched teeth. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, raised his sword, and fought Yu Huan again. The heavenly dragon sword was, after all, a grade 7 Genesis weapon. Even Yu Huan's heaven-opening blood dragon blade could not compare. Everyone thought that Jiang Chen would avoid the attack, but not only did Jiang Chen not retreat, he even activated the full power of the Heavenly Dragon Sword and began his counterattack. The stronger one meets the stronger one becomes. Jiang Chen had never been afraid of opponents that were too strong. He was only afraid of opponents that were too weak, leaving him no room to display his strength. Strings of golden light flickered in the sky. The seemingly weak body was able to move freely between the two black gold giant axes. The Heavenly Dragon Sword was also like a fierce dragon roaring, flying between the two giant axes. Even the giant axes could not cut off Jiang Chen's path of retreat. The Heavenly Dragon Sword faintly had the power to suppress him. On the contrary, Yu Huan began to become cautious. What a terrifying sword. What is this guy's background? To be able to suppress my heaven-opening blood dragon blade, it must at least be a grade 7 Genesis weapon. This kid is really full of treasures. He can take out 500 million Genesis stones and has such a rich background. It seems that the heavens cannot tolerate not killing you, humph. Yu Huan thought in his heart. The fact that Jiang Chen was able to fight evenly with him had a lot to do with this sword. Although Yu Huan was angry, he was more rational. First, he had to defeat Jiang Chen. The Heavenly Dragon Sword raged out, mottled dragon shadows filling the sky. The heaven-opening blood dragon blade could no longer cause any harm to Jiang Chen. Even the Heavenly Dragon Sword's power was not difficult to deal with. Jiang Chen's eyes were ice-cold. The battle with Yu Huan grew more and more intense. Both were brimming with battle intent, and neither wanted to be the first to be defeated. Otherwise, they would become the laughingstock of the entire Apocalypse Knights. But at this time, Jiang Chen had at least won the respect of many people. With such strength, even among the many half-step star-level experts, it would be difficult to find an opponent. Tyrant Firmament Blood. Dragon-slaying blade. Yu Huan's eyes were piercingly cold as he roared from his throat. His voice was hoarse and irresistible. The blood in his hands spread out and completely enveloped the heaven-opening blood dragon blade. It became strange and enchanting, full of mysterious power. The two blades seemed to have traveled through the ages, and everyone present felt a little suffocated. Too strong. This is Yu Huan's true trump card. Back then, all of us were defeated by this move. That's right. He used his own blood to pour into the heaven-opening blood dragon blade to achieve the goal of sharpening the blade. The blade of the giant axe will soar thousands of times in an instant, and there is nothing it cannot cut through. Even a 3-stage star transformation expert at the half-step star level wouldn't be willing to easily face it, right? It seems that Jiang Chen will definitely lose this time. Yu Huan's strength made everyone speechless. Almost no one present dared to say that they could resist this axe. Jiang Chen. Be careful. Tong Ling's eyes were full of horror, and her body trembled. That axe could definitely take her away. It was too strong, too fast, and too heavy. In their eyes, it seemed that the whole mountain and the whole sky were about to sink. It was extremely sharp and had a huge force that could shake the sky. Wherever it passed, the air exploded and the void was completely shattered. Dragon Scale Armor. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth. With the support of the 6 dragon scales, his body had reached an indestructible level. Coupled with the momentum of the Heavenly Dragon Sword, Jiang Chen resolutely blocked this blow. The crushing power of the giant axe was too strong, especially at the moment when it collided with the Heavenly Dragon Sword. The surrounding arena continued to collapse. Even with the support of the formation, the arena still cracked into pieces. Jiang Chen's limitless sword was also invincible. When the Heavenly Dragon Sword and the heaven-opening blood dragon blade collided, coupled with the Dragon Slayer axe and the blood blade, Yu Huan could be said to be unstoppable. The blood-red axe blade kept echoing in the sky. The Heavenly Dragon Sword rose up and collided with the 2 black and gold giant axes. It was like a collision between 2 planets. The pressure that covered the sky spread out in all directions, forcing many people to retreat. The arena had long been turned into ruins, and dust was everywhere. Jiang Chen's dragon scales completely resisted Yu Huan's attack and was not damaged at all. The Heavenly Dragon Sword was also not damaged at all, but Yu Huan had exhausted most of his strength. It was already extremely difficult to control this pair of giant axes. If it was an ordinary expert, he would have already been annihilated under his heaven-opening blood dragon blade. However, Jiang Chen's overbearingness made him even more resentful and furious. In an instant, everyone was shocked. Chapter 48-49. Kill. Yu Huan followed up with another attack. Although his axe strike had failed to seriously injure Jiang Chen, he would not let his opponent off. Only by killing him would he be able to resolve the hatred in his heart. However, was Jiang Chen someone easy to deal with? Obviously not. When Yu Huan flipped back into the air, his palm had already gradually gathered together. With a jerk of his palm, a finger pointed skyward. 9 tribulations imprisoning heavenly finger. Single sun finger. Jiang Chen's eyes flickered. Although he appeared calm, terrifying Genesis Chi poured out with the point of his finger like a torrential flood that could pierce through all living things in the world. 9 tribulations imprisoning heavenly finger. 9 fingers cutting yin-yang. It was just the first finger, but it had already made Jiang Chen's strength reach a terrifying level. Yu Huan's pupils shrank. No one could see the power of Jiang Chen's finger better than him. Yu Huan clearly understood that Jiang Chen's finger was too powerful, too frightening. But no matter what, he had to continue forward. He had to fight to the death with Jiang Chen. He could not afford to lose face like this. He knew full well that a tiger was lurking in the mountains, yet he still chose to face it head-on. Although the finger's power was monstrous, he firmly believed that Yu Huan would be able to withstand it. In the blink of an eye, the single sun finger descended from the sky with incomparable earth-shattering power. Although Yu Huan was already fully prepared and had swung both axes in an attempt to carve out a path of blood for himself, Jiang Chen's finger had made him completely give up on such thoughts. The finger landed, and his sky-opening blood dragon blade was sent flying. Cracks even appeared on it as it flew out of his hand. Yu Huan's expression abruptly changed as his body was blasted backwards by the aftershocks. It was as if all the bones in his body had been completely shattered, and he was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. It was as if he had seen the gates of hell. Jiang Chen had destroyed everything with a single point of his finger, causing his heart to sink to rock bottom. His entire body had been gravely injured, and not a single part of his internal organs was unharmed. His life was hanging by a thread, and his life was in danger. The finger was unstoppable and unstoppable. Puffed! Yu Huan abruptly spat out a large mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with terror and unwillingness. However, he no longer had the strength to continue fighting. That finger was like a nightmare to him. He would never forget it. The 9th heaven of the Star Emperor realm was impressive. At that moment, everyone held their breath, unable to believe what they were seeing. Yu Huan finally could not hold on any longer. He knelt on the ground, and his entire body fell into the dust. His eyes flickered with unparalleled hatred. But a loss was a loss, and there was no excuse for it. This battle shocked the entire Knights of the Apocalypse. Jiang Chen gasped for breath. The Genesis Chi in his body had almost been emptied by the 9 tribulations' heavenly imprisoning finger. Defeating Yu Huan was a heavy blow to the enemy and a heavy blow to himself. But at least he did not lose. At first, the surroundings were so quiet that a pin drop could be heard. Following that, a round of applause resounded through the clouds. Jiang Chen smiled. Only the strong could win true respect. He won. Jiang Chen really won. Ha ha ha, it's so beautiful. Yes, I said that Jiang Chen could do it. Us freshmen have finally turned things around. This time, Jiang Chen defeated Commander Yu Huan. Let's see who dares to bully us freshmen. As a new member of the Knights of the Apocalypse, I'm proud of Brother Jiang. If he hadn't led us out of the 100 Ghosts bamboo forest, who knows if we would still be alive or dead. Jiang Chen, well done. We're proud of you. Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen. It wasn't just the freshmen. Even many seniors of the Knights of the Apocalypse were secretly shocked. The battle between Jiang Chen and Yu Huan had been earth-shattering. Many people had never seen or heard of such a thing before. Jiang Chen had given them all a resounding slap in the face. They had thought that Yu Huan would win without a doubt, but Jiang Chen's strength had proven that there was a reason for his tyranny. Such a person deserved to be tyrannical. If he was too low-key, people would feel that he was unsuitable. On this hot-blooded land, on this planet where only the strong were respected, the Knights of the Apocalypse were the brightest stars. They were the hope of the Apocalypse planet. They had to be high-profile, powerful, and awe-inspiring. I lost, I really lost. Ha ha. Yu Huan murmured in disbelief. His face was deathly pale. It was already impressive that he hadn't fainted, but now he was struggling at death's door. He had become the laughingstock of the entire Knights of the Apocalypse. Trash to trash. I thought he could still fight for us seniors. Is this Yu Huan even worthy of being our deputy commander? He's really making a fool of himself. Hee hee. That's right. If I were him, I would want to find a hole to hide in. Isn't he too cowardly? He can't even beat a freshman? How can he establish his might? I'm so disappointed, Sai. Don't kick him when he's down. Commander, you must be feeling worse than anyone else right now, but it's already very difficult for him to survive. Let's all have some manners. There are talented people in every generation, and they've been outstanding for hundreds of years. It seems that Commander Yu has really been surpassed by a newcomer. We should also wake up and be prepared for danger in times of peace. That's what we should do. Joining the Knights of the Apocalypse doesn't mean that we can solve the problem once and for all. Yu Huan's defeat also made more people feel a lot of pressure. Jiang Chen had amazed the world with a single brilliant feat and swept away the commander of the Knights of the Apocalypse. This was no joke, and it was inevitable that he would set off a huge wave in the entire Knights of the Apocalypse. In the face of the thunderous cheers, Jiang Chen didn't lose his mind. The most important thing in his heart now was to save De Huang. Commander Yu, it's time to fulfill your promise, right? I want that De Huang dog now. Jiang Chen said Lang Lang, the murderous intent in his eyes making Yu Huan feel very uncomfortable. However, he had nothing to say at this time because this was a bet, and he had to admit it even if the Emperor of Heaven came. Jiang Chen's aura pressured Yu Huan to the point that he couldn't breathe. This was the aura of a powerhouse, and his overwhelming fighting spirit spread in all directions. Yu Huan had already lost to Jiang Chen, so at this moment, Jiang Chen was like a demon god shrouding him, making him feel very depressed and anxious. Cough, cough, cough. Yu Huan coughed twice, his face even paler. With a flip of his hand, he threw a string of keys with special inscriptions to Jiang Chen. Northwest of the Knights of the Apocalypse, in the deepest heavenly cell. That De Huang dog is there. Whether he lives or dies is up to you. Old 5, take him there. Yu Huan said through gritted teeth. A half-step star-state powerhouse stood out submissively. Yes, Commander Yu. Chapter 4850. I hope you're not lying to me. Otherwise, you'll definitely regret it. Jiang Chen said to Lang Lang. However, he did not have the guts to leave him hanging. Everyone was watching, and many people knew about their bet. It was impossible for him to destroy his card again for an insignificant De Huang dog. If that happened, he would really be unable to move an inch in the Knights of the Apocalypse and would not be able to gain a foothold at all. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. He grabbed the key and headed for the heaven cell of the Apocalypse Knights without looking back. Jiang Chen quickly followed OL-5 to the northwest. Jiang Chen was burning with anxiety. Even though he was seriously injured, he did not stop because he could not wait any longer. Jiang Chen, wait for me. Tong Ling also quickly followed. Tong Yao's expression changed slightly. This little sister really did not let her make a sound. Although Jiang Chen had defeated Yu Huan, he would definitely become the target of public criticism. Yu Huan was only a minor character in the Knights of the Apocalypse, and the true experts were far from revealing themselves. Some third-level star transformation powerhouses simply disdained to fight with Jiang Chen, but if he was too high-profile, it would definitely be difficult for him to move an inch in the Knights of the Apocalypse. It was reasonable for someone to want to deal with him, so Tong Yao did not want Tong Ling to get too close to Jiang Chen, lest she be implicated. Yu Huan gritted his teeth and trembled all over. He stared fiercely at Jiang Chen's departing figure, his eyes filled with boundless rage. Jiang Chen, I'm going to fight you to the end. I won't rest until I'm dead. Today's matter will not end here. Yu Huan punched the ground fiercely. His body could no longer hold on, and he fell straight down. When Jiang Chen followed OL-5 to the heaven cell, he found that the cell was already in a mess. Hundreds of members of the Order of Chivalry surrounded the cell tightly. They were all flustered, and every one of them was extremely solemn. Their eyes were filled with solemnity and solemnity. What's going on? OL-5 grabbed one of the knights and asked in a deep voice. Early this morning, De Huang dog from the heaven cell ran out for some reason and released most of the heaven prisoners. He rushed out of the cell and killed more than 10 of his companions. Now, the entire horsemen of the apocalypse is on high alert. I don't know where they went. The next step is likely to be a city-wide manhunt. Something major happened in the Heaven series prison. As guards, it was hard for them to absolve themselves from the blame. The fifth brother was also dumbfounded. He looked at the prison guards who were rushing past him, and each of them had a bitter expression on their faces. How could this be? Where is that De Huang dog? Where are you? Jiang Chen's expression changed slightly. De Huang dog. He actually escaped from prison? Jiang Chen's heart was full of doubts, but he was also somewhat glad. Although he didn't know why De Huang dog was captured, he actually escaped at this time. Even he didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but at least De Huang was still alive. Jiang Chen only needed to know this. It was good that he was alive. I don't know either. It looks like something big happened in the cell. Sorry, Jiang Chen. I'm afraid the De Huang dog you're looking for is no longer here. These guards are already searching for him. I believe it won't be long before they're captured. They're still too inexperienced to cause trouble in the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. No one can escape from the Heaven series Horsemen of the Apocalypse, unless they're corpses. The fifth brother said in a deep voice. A bunch of good-for-nothings. How unlucky. Jiang Chen's expression was gloomy, but he was very nervous in his heart. In that case, the Horsemen of the Apocalypse would definitely not let these escaped demons and ghosts off easily. Once they were captured, they would probably be killed without mercy. Therefore, Jiang Chen had to find De Huang first. Prison break, causing a riot. This was what De Huang would do, and Jiang Chen did not doubt it at all. He just felt rather regretful that the two brothers had passed by just like that. Jiang Chen was still very worried about De Huang. After all, the Horsemen of the Apocalypse were not to be trifled with. De Huang being captured was the best example. However, Jiang Chen was also very excited that he could find a chance to break out of prison and turn this place upside down. At least, he was certain that this guy was definitely De Huang. If it were someone else, they would definitely run away dejectedly and not dare to make the slightest movement. However, De Huang was a guy who craved for the world to be in chaos and would definitely not give up, so there was a great disturbance in the Heaven series prison. What should we do now? Tong Ling looked at Jiang Chen, feeling rather uneasy. She knew the relationship between Jiang Chen and De Huang. Jiang Chen had mentioned it to her before. Let's go back first. Jiang Chen said solemnly. He was now waiting to see how the Horsemen of the Apocalypse would clean up the mess. However, he was already prepared to attack at any time. Of course, it was to find De Huang and protect his safety. Jiang Chen did not rest all night because he was always worried about De Huang's safety. This guy had brushed shoulders with him and even messed up the Horsemen of the Apocalypse's prison. Wasn't this adding to his crime? Not only did he break out of prison, but he also caused a storm in the city. This made him speechless. Now, the outside was definitely in a state of panic. The previous encounter in the 100 Ghosts bamboo forest had already made Jiang Chen feel that the Apocalypse Galaxy City was in turmoil. A large number of Horsemen of the Apocalypse had been mobilized, and De Huang's situation was even more dangerous than in the prison. As soon as the sky brightened, the Knights of the Apocalypse's assembly alarm sounded. Jiang Chen rushed to the plaza at the first possible moment. Jiang Chen and the other 37 new students were arranged together. On the high platform in the square, Deputy Commander Zhang Tiance was wearing silver armor, looking mighty and domineering. Thousands of fully armed knights lined up neatly on the square. Every single one of them was extraordinarily valiant and imposing. This kind of iron army was indeed very terrifying. Furthermore, this was only a portion of it. Such a huge army caused people to tremble in fear. Even his own Monster Beast Legion could not compare to it because these were top experts who could fight against 10 or even 100. They were not dull soldiers. Each of them was a legend of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and each of them shouldered responsibility and glory. Each of them held a 9-foot-long spear in their hand. Each of them wore a flower feather on their head, and each of them wore diamond armor. They looked valiant and formidable. The Horsemen of the Apocalypse were divine and invincible. The Iron Legion was invincible. In recent days, the Apocalypse Galaxy City has been in turmoil. We have already sent a large number of horsemen to carry out missions. At this time, we should firmly guard the Apocalypse Galaxy City. As the Knights of the Apocalypse, we are duty-bound to fulfill the great responsibility of the heavens. Commander of the Kue Mu Alliance, take 3,000 people and prepare to set off immediately to pacify the Apocalypse Galaxy City. Chapter 4851. Yes, sir. The commander of the Kuei Mu alliance cupped his fists and said in a loud voice. Zhang Tianche looked at Jiang Chen's direction with a cold look in his eyes. New Knight Jiang Chen, with excellent performance in both ability and integrity, especially appointed as the captain of the new squad under the banner of the Kuei Mu alliance. Jiang Chen receives the order. Jiang Chen nodded and said, "It's a troubled time now. Now that we are in troubled times, there has been an accident in the imperial prison, and many demons have escaped. In order to prevent the demons from wreaking havoc in the human world, Deputy Commander Nie Yunfeng will lead 300 knights to capture the demons that have escaped. Those who disobey will be killed without mercy, and there is no need to show mercy to demons and evil spirits." Zhang Tian's words made Jiang Chen's heart sink. It seemed that the horsemen of the apocalypse intended to start with these escaped demons. It seemed that De Huang's situation would become more and more dangerous. Nie Yunfeng receives the order. Nie Yunfeng walked out of the crowd and glanced at Jiang Chen and the others with an indifferent expression. Jiang Chen was also a little puzzled. This person looked somewhat familiar. In addition, Jiang Chen will lead the new knights and fully cooperate with Nie Yunfeng. As the first battle of the new knights, I don't want to see a bunch of cowards staying in the horsemen of the apocalypse. Do you understand? Zhang Tian's eyes turned cold, and everyone was shocked. Their breathing became tense, and they shouted in unison. Understood. Jiang Chen looked at Nie Yunfeng. He could finally take action, but what Jiang Chen didn't expect was that his first battle would be to capture his brother. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but at least he could get De Huang's position immediately, which would definitely be beneficial to him. In the eastern mountain range of the Ghost Bamboo Forest, the mountains were connected to the water, and the water was connected to the mountains. This was also a place that few people set foot in. The mountains and rivers intersected, and there were great lakes everywhere. At the end of a mountain, there might be a vast ocean, so it was called the Water Curtain Mountain. The Water Curtain Mountain was enshrouded in mist all year round. According to ancient legends, there were countless ferocious beasts living on land and water here. There were even rumors that there were demons from ancient times here. I can't run anymore. I really can't run anymore. Huff huff. I can't either. Damn, why are these dogs like dog skin plaster? I can't get rid of them no matter how hard I try. If this goes on, we'll die of exhaustion before we can get out of danger. That's right, Lord Dog. Come up with a plan. What should we do now? We've escaped, but once we're captured by the horsemen of the apocalypse, we'll probably be finished. Yes, those horsemen of the horsemen are not to be trifled with. I regret running away. More than 40 superiors half a step away from the star level and the Star Emperor realm were talking at the same time. They were all kinds of demons, including humans with 2 horns on their heads, cheetahs with 3 heads, and pigs with mixed fur covered in scales. All of them were strangely shaped. Look at all of you. I shouldn't have brought you out in the first place. You deserve to stay in the dungeon for the rest of your life. Damn it. A big yellow dog pointed at the group of demonic devils in front of him and said while gnashing his teeth in anger, as if he was exasperated by their failure to meet his expectations. What's there to be afraid of? Will they eat you? You lost your head and left a big scar. You're already locked up in the dungeon, yet you're still so long-winded. If you don't run away, will those F***king dogs let you out? If we don't run, only death awaits us. Whether you want to be a coward for life or a hero for a moment, it's up to you. Those who want to die, stay. Those who don't want to die, come with me. De Huang put his hands on his hips and said angrily. These were his brothers in the heaven cell. The fire had burned the heaven cell and released many demons. De Huang wanted to make trouble for the horsemen of the apocalypse. He had been locked up for so long, so he had to let them know how powerful Lord Dog was. We know we're wrong, Lord Dog. Yes, yes, yes. We'll listen to Lord Dog. After being reprimanded by De Huang, everyone lowered their heads and didn't dare to say anything to lower their morale. They were all waiting for De Huang's decision. That's right. Those bastards are determined to catch us. If we don't show them what we're made of, they'll think we're soft persimmons they can squash at will. De Huang sneered. Now if anyone dares to sing a different tune, Lord Dog will tear their mouth apart. De Huang said angrily. He looked back and his heart became heavy. Everyone knew that the horseman of the apocalypse was getting closer. They'll catch up in less than half a day. Let's enter the mountain first. We can't, Lord Dog. This is the Water Curtain Mountain. It's said that there are countless demons and evil spirits here. Moreover, It's an ominous place. It's even more evil than the 100 Ghosts bamboo forest. Almost no one who enters here can come out alive. It's one of the forbidden areas of the Apocalypse Galaxy City. Yes, Lord Dog. Think twice before you act. We've been forced into a dead end. De Huang's eyes were cold as he pointed at them. It's over. A bunch of cowards. Aren't you a bunch of demons and evil spirits? What are you afraid of? Are you going to wait for death here? Trash. Lord Dog has seen all kinds of things. What's there to be afraid of? After De Huang said that, a dark cloud came over and covered the top of their heads. It felt like a dark cloud was pressing down on the city. In just a moment, the dark cloud dissipated and went straight into the mountain. All of them sucked in a breath of cold air. That boundless shadow wasn't a dark cloud, but a giant bird. Lord Dog, I'm afraid of birds. I'm afraid too. This bird, he's not ordinary. Everyone looked at each other. Such a big bird was not enough to describe it. De Huang was also completely dumbfounded. F***ck. Wasn't this too big? It almost covered the entire mountain range, making them feel that the sky had lost its color. To be honest, he had a lingering fear in his heart. These guys' words were probably not groundless. All of you calm down. Those bastards of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse will be here soon. Take out all your treasures. I'm going to set up an array and make them tremble under Lord Dog's array. De Huang said confidently. Although these guys had very reluctantly escaped with their source stones and treasures, compared to their lives, these things didn't seem so important. De Huang set up an array within a radius of 30 kilometers because De Huang was sure that they would hesitate here and decide whether to enter the mountain or not, just like them. As long as they entered the mountain, everyone would be trapped. At this time, a green-faced beast that knew a little about array formations ran out and said excitedly, Lord Dog, we'll be able to enter the mountain. Chapter 4852. This array. TSK. 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 Even star-level experts will fall into it. Lord Dog, you're too ruthless. That's how it should be. Xueqi. Lord Dog is mighty and domineering. Is there a need to say it? Otherwise, how could Grandpa Dog bring everyone out? Do you think Grandpa Dog is useless? Under everyone's flattery, De Huang patted his butt, turned around and said, Go, go, go. Little brats. Hurry up and go. Follow me into the mountain, and I'll make bird stew for you. Big Yellow laughed and scolded them, then swaggered into Mount Water Curtain. Upon seeing this, the other people felt helpless and fearful, but they knew that they would only die if they stayed behind. In the end, they gritted their teeth and followed him into the mountain. After De Huang and the others entered Mount Water Curtain, the group of more than 100 horsemen of the apocalypse stopped. These guys really ran into Mount Water Curtain. They're a bunch of reckless fools. Deputy Commander Chen Wanshan, Lang Lang, said as he waved his hand, motioning for everyone to stop moving forward. Deputy Commander, what should we do? Should we go in or not? Someone asked in a low voice. Chen Wanshan was also in a dilemma. He knew about the danger of Mount Water Curtain. Who in the entire Apocalypse Milky Way City didn't know about it? Once they entered, even star-level experts might be unable to extricate themselves. Even the Horsemen of the Apocalypse had to be careful. This place was even more terrifying than the 100 Ghosts bamboo forest. Let's set up camp here first and wait for Commander Nye to come, Chen Wanshan said after pondering for a moment. Chen Wanshan pondered for a moment and said, once all of them entered this place, any kind of crisis could lead to their defeat or even total annihilation. He had to think of such an ending. Therefore, at this time, Chen Wanshan's best decision was to bide his time and wait for reinforcements to arrive. He didn't want to be the scapegoat. Yes, Deputy Commander. The Knights of the Apocalypse received their orders and set up camp outside Mount Water Curtain, not advancing in the slightest. Go, send a signal flare to the Knights. Chen Wanshan ordered that once the Horsemen of the Apocalypse came, he would retreat to the second line and let them make the decision. He didn't want to get involved. This Water Curtain mountain always gave him a gloomy feeling. The water curtain connected to the sky, the mountain steep, the mountain connected to the water, and the water connected to the mountain. It was truly strange and extraordinary. After a while, the messenger came to report that reinforcements would arrive soon. Chen Wanshan's expression also became calm. With someone to carry the burden for him, he had nothing to fear. A moment later, Smoke and dust rose, and hundreds of horsemen galloped over on dragon horses. They landed from the sky and arrived in the blink of an eye. Their leader was Nye Yunfeng. Chen Wanshan's eyes lit up and the corner of his mouth curled into a smile. Nye Yunfen was much more experienced than him. Wouldn't it be perfect to let him make the decision? Commander Nye, thank you. Ha! Chen Wanshan said with a smile. His eyes were filled with joy. It's been a long time, Commander Chen. I heard that you've found the whereabouts of those demons? Nye Yunfen said. That's right. They've all entered Water Curtain Mountain, so I've been biding my time and waiting for the knights to give me the order. Now that Brother Nye is here, I'm more confident. I'll listen to Brother Nye's arrangements. Chen Wanshan's words made Nye Yunfeng's face sink. This old fox was worried that he would encounter some danger after going in that would put him in a difficult situation. Perhaps even the flower feather on his head would be cut off, so he had been waiting for someone to take the thunder for him. Nye Yunfeng was already like an arrow on a bowstring. He couldn't go back and ask for instructions from the knights, so he could only give orders and make a decision. We are members of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. When have we ever feared anything? Since these fellows dared to break out of prison, it's an insult to our knights. We absolutely can't let these demons go. If they're alive, I want to see them. If they're dead, I want to see their corpses. We must kill them all, Nye Yunfeng said solemnly. Brother Nye is right. These scum must be killed to raise the threat of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. I'll listen to Brother Nye's orders, Chen Wanshan said with a smile. Chen Wanshan said with a chuckle. At this time, his people had already started to get ready. Pack up and get ready to set off for Water Curtain Mountain. Nye Yunfeng gave the order. A total of 500 horsemen of the apocalypse were all ready to enter Water Curtain Mountain and search for the demons that had escaped. Zhang Chen narrowed his eyes and looked on coldly. He seemed to feel that something was wrong, but he couldn't tell what it was. Water Curtain Mountain is a more terrifying existence than the 100 Ghosts bamboo forest. You have to be prepared. Luo Ying had appeared beside Zhang Chen at some point. Even Zhang Chen was quite surprised. Clad in armor, she looked valiant and formidable. I didn't expect you to come too. Zhang Chen was slightly surprised. It seemed that her mother should be fine. I'm also a member of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. What's wrong? Shouldn't I come? Luo Ying smiled, an imperceptible luster in her eyes. Her mother's condition had completely improved, and there was nothing wrong with her. Her heart disease had been removed, so even her mood was extremely cheerful, completely different from the melancholy she used to feel in the past. Zhang Chen couldn't help but look at Luo Ying a few more times. This was a peerless heroine. What are you two chatting so happily about? We're about to enter Water Curtain Mountain. Zhang Chen, don't be so mischievous. It's dangerous here, and it's not the right time for romance. Aren't you looking for De Huang? Tong Ling said with a smile. Zhang Chen blushed and rolled his eyes at Tong Ling. That's natural. We should also take a good rest and prepare to enter. But I advise you two to stay at the back and not rush forward. Since Water Curtain Mountain is so dangerous, we, as newcomers, must walk at the back. Zhang Chen smiled. Zhang Chen, aren't you too cowardly? You weren't like this back then. You wanted to be first in everything and take the lead. As a newly promoted horseman, shouldn't you be at the front? This is a good opportunity to make a name for yourself. Tong Ling was eager to give it a try. Shut up. This isn't a joke. Just stay put. Zhang Chen stopped smiling, looked around, and waved his hand, motioning for all the newly promoted horsemen to stop and hang at the back. Brother Zhang, what are you doing? Didn't we come here to gain experience? How can we gain experience now that we're at the back? Only by taking the lead can we take the lead and stand out among the horsemen of the apocalypse, right? Yes, Captain. We can't be cowards here. Won't we be laughed at by those old men? In the past, Brother Zhang was always the first to charge forward. Why are you so restrained today? Chapter 48-53. Tong Ling was also quite surprised. In the past, Zhang Chen had never been so timid, but this time, he was so restrained that the newly promoted knights behind him were full of doubts about him. If the boss was so timid, would he still have a good life in the future? Many of them were already itching to follow the old knights and charge into the enemy's ranks. It's better to be safe than sorry. Zhang Chen did not say much. After all, How could he learn from his mistakes? As the captain of the newly promoted knights, he could order these people to retreat, but at this time, he had to teach them a lesson so that they would be more willing to submit to him. Which of these guys wasn't arrogant and unruly? Although these people trusted him, at this time, they all wanted to charge and break through the enemy lines. He couldn't stop them, so he could only let them explore on their own. If they didn't hit the wall, they wouldn't turn back. When they really hit the wall, they would know that his words were harsh to the ears. The 12 knights completely ignored Jiang Chen's words and rushed to the forefront, following closely behind the main force. I don't want to be a coward and be mocked by those old birds. Humph, that's right. We didn't come to the Knights of the Apocalypse to be mocked. Brother Jiang, I'm sorry, but I have to stand out and make a name for myself in the Knights of the Apocalypse, so I can only go ahead. Captain, your approach may be right, but I, Yang Shua, am not someone who is afraid of death. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I'll go first. The 12 knights followed closely behind on their dragon horses. After all, they did not want to stay under Jiang Chen's wing forever. If so, what room would there be for them to grow? They had to do something real to gain a foothold in the Knights of the Apocalypse. Jiang Chen shook his head helplessly and let out a sigh. Then, he would let them gain some experience. Luoying also chose to stay by Jiang Chen's side. Although Jiang Chen was only at the peak of the Star Emperor realm, his strength was quite terrifying. Not only had he cured her mother, but he had also defeated Deputy Commander Yu Huan. With such skills and methods, Luoying had no reason not to believe in Jiang Chen. Charge. Kill your way into empty water curtain and capture demons and evil spirits. You'll be the brightest of the Knights of the Apocalypse. Nie Yunfeng let out a low roar and took the initiative to attack. He took the lead and charged forward without any hesitation. His domineering aura caused countless people to feel suffocated. No wonder Commander Nie was able to become the leader of this group. This kind of unstoppable aura caused people to feel intimidated. Under the command of Nie Yunfeng, all the knights rushed into the Water Curtain Mountain. However, when they were about to enter the edge of the Water Curtain Mountain, a strong wind suddenly arose. The whirlwind continued to attack, engulfing everyone in the vicinity. It was quite terrifying. Not good. It's a formation. We actually fell into an ambush. This must be a formation set up by those demons and evil spirits. That's right. Everyone, be careful. Although everyone was shocked, they did not panic. After all, they were the Knights of the Apocalypse. They all gathered at this time to block the whirlwind from all directions. A strong wind rose, and thunder and lightning crackled. The entire water pool area at the edge of the Water Curtain Mountain turned into a spectacle of a waterspout. Not only were there violent whirlwinds, but huge waves also rose and kept crashing down, drenching these knights and making them look very miserable. Wind and rain intertwined, and thunder and lightning crackled. The power of the formation could not be underestimated. Many people were already powerless and could only passively defend and huddle together. Damn it! Nie Yunfeng's face was full of anger. This group of demons and evil spirits had actually set up a formation here and embarrassed them. Hundreds of Knights of the Apocalypse were completely drenched by the huge waves and looked very miserable. Although their lives were not in danger, this strange formation made him thoroughly angry. Wind Move Token. Nie Yunfeng held the Wind Move Token in his hand and immediately rushed out. The terrifying whirlwind was like a sharp wind blade that tore apart the storm of the formation, causing a series of explosions and huge waves to rise into the sky. That kind of formation made people flinch. So powerful. That's right. Commander Nie is worthy of being the cornerstone of the Apocalypse Knights. We are far inferior to this kind of strength. Commander Nie is mighty. Everyone sighed with emotion. Nie Yunfeng held the Wind Move Token and broke through the layers of formations by himself. The storm subsided, and the surface of the lake regained its tranquility. The wind formation had completely dissipated. It really is him. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. No wonder he felt an inexplicable pressure during the first test. It turned out to be this guy with the Wind Move Token. What a good Nie Yunfeng. If not for his eternal immortal wind being strong enough, he would have probably fallen to his Wind Move Token. Jiang Chen had long had doubts in his heart, and today, his doubts were finally dispelled. It seemed that this guy and Yu Huan had planned this beforehand. Jiang Chen did not believe that this guy was simply trying to stop their test. He must have an extraordinary relationship with Yu Huan. It seemed like he had to be more vigilant against Nie Yunfeng in the future. Otherwise, he might fall into Nie Yunfeng's trap. Yu Huan had already been defeated by Jiang Chen, so Nie Yunfeng would certainly take it to heart. Although he didn't show it, no one knew when he would explode. Jiang Chen had to be careful. At this moment, the people behind Jiang Chen sucked in a breath of cold air when they saw the horsemen of the apocalypse charging at the front turn into drenched chickens, each more wretched than the last. Wasn't this too strong? Foresight? Or had Jiang Chen already seen through the ambush here? Brother Jiang, did you already guess that there would be an ambush here? This array formation is not simple. If Commander Nye hadn't taken action, it would have been extremely troublesome for us. Although I don't know how strong the person who set up this array formation is, this array formation gives off a very abnormal feeling. Just thinking about it makes me scared. Isn't this too difficult? These guys are really too young. They didn't listen to Brother Jiang and are now all dumbfounded, right? Ha! Brother Jiang, I will listen to you from now on. I will absolutely follow you. You are the person I trust the most in the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Jiang Chen's ability to predict the future had caused everyone to feel a sense of awe. Those few fellows who were eager to give it a try had also suffered at this moment. They did not listen to Jiang Chen's warning at all. They were asking for trouble. The people who listened to Jiang Chen all patted their chests with lingering fear. Fortunately, they had not been too impulsive, or else they would have ended up like this group of guys. Chapter 48-54. Jiang Chen was neither happy nor sad. He was also very calm in the face of flattery. This array formation was obviously arranged by De Huang to prevent the Horsemen of the Apocalypse from catching up to him. From this, it could be seen that De Huang had already entered Mount Water Curtain, and he had to go in and check it out. No matter how many dangers there were, he could not retreat. Mount Water Curtain was even more terrifying than the 100 Ghosts Bamboo Forest, but fear could not solve the problem. Jiang Chen had never been a timid person. What he needed to be wary of now was the entire Horsemen of the Apocalypse. If they really wanted to kill De Huang, then he would probably betray them. At that time, he would not hesitate even if he had to kill everyone. When they first entered the Water Curtain Mountain, Chen Wanshan was extremely cautious, afraid of any danger. He didn't even dare make any decisions on his own. Jiang Chen could see all of this with his own eyes. On the other hand, he was worried about whether Big Yellow would encounter any danger in the Water Curtain Mountain. You're really a vengeful person, Jiang Chen thought to himself. De Huang was not someone to be trifled with. If he suffered a little, he would definitely return it tenfold or 100-fold. This time, he had suffered so much at the hands of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, so he would definitely make up for it. These people who arrested him would definitely suffer a great loss. He believed that De Huang's revenge would not stop there. Continue forward. Nie Yunfeng held the wind movement token in his hand. Although the array here was not fatal, it made them suffer greatly. The Horsemen of the Apocalypse's reputation had also been damaged. They were truly abominable. If they caught those demons, they would definitely tear them into pieces. Now that the Horseman of the Apocalypse was in a very dangerous situation, Nie Yunfeng was not stupid. Chasing those fugitives at this time was far easier than going to the 100 Ghosts Bamboo Forest and other places to sweep away the dangers. Moreover, the danger was not that great. They only needed to guard Mount Water Curtain well. Although Empty Water Curtain was famous for being surrounded by dangers, who had seen the true great demons of Empty Water Curtain? Therefore, Nie Yunfeng basically did not have groundless worries. Hunting down demons and evil spirits was precisely the simplest and most leisurely job. However, what Nie Yunfeng didn't expect was that before the first wave subsided, another wave would rise. Just as they entered the range of the Water Screen Mountain, they suffered another heavy blow. Sure enough, just as Jiang Chen had expected, just as they crossed a mountain, waves rose on the surface of the lake again. Layers of huge waves were taller than the top of the mountain. The moment the huge waves rose, they almost turned into ice. In other words, when these huge waves hit the horsemen, they directly froze. A terrifying cold aura kept approaching from the surface of the water. Before Jiang Chen and the others could walk over, the surface of the lake within a 5-kilometer radius froze. More than 400 people were frozen there like sculptures again. Damn it! Don't let me catch you. I, Nie Yunfeng, will tear you to pieces on top of the wind wall. Nie Yunfeng roared and activated the wind movement order again. However, this time, Wind blades appeared and shattered the ice sculptures of the people around them. Only then were they rescued from the ice. They were all shivering from the cold. It wasn't fatal, but it made them lose face. They were dignified horsemen of the apocalypse, but they were being played around in circles by someone. This was the work of the formation. It seemed to be a provocation, but it also seemed like revenge. In short, the horsemen's faces were very unsightly. They had never encountered such a miserable thing before. Jiang Chen knew that De Huang did not have the ability to kill these people at all. If he really had time to set up a killing array here, he would never have shown mercy. Time was tight, and the task was heavy, so he could only do this. On a distant mountain, De Huang and the others were convulsing with laughter as they looked at empty Han from afar. Kikik! Lord Dog is awesome. In such a short time, he played those King horsemen of the apocalypse. Yes, they really think of themselves as heavenly soldiers and generals. These guys are too arrogant and self-righteous. But weren't they still played around in Lord Dog's hands? These guys might hate us. Hee, let's go first. Everyone looked at the miserable appearance of the horsemen of the apocalypse and was extremely happy. They had been locked up in the dungeon for so long, and now that they were released, they were naturally very excited. These horsemen of the apocalypse, who usually bossed them around and often vented their anger on them, were also in such a sorry state today. Don't be happy too early. We're not out of danger yet. Let's go, De Huang said in a deep voice. However, at this moment, no one noticed that a huge mountain was slowly moving on the surface of the water. As the waves rose, it looked like a lonely boat floating on the ocean. Nie Yunfeng, who had been insulted once again, trembled all over, but it was precisely because of this that his anger toward those demons and evil spirits intensified. Although Water Curtain Mountain was full of dangers, they had to search for those demons and evil spirits even if they had to go to the ends of the earth. It looks like that friend of yours is not someone to be trifled with. Luo Ying smiled faintly and murmured to Jiang Chen in a low voice. Jiang Chen shrugged helplessly. De Huang had always done things like this, always disregarding the consequences. However, these two series of formations had indeed made Nie Yunfeng and the others suffer greatly. It was undeniable that the current Nie Yunfeng could be said to be quite cautious. As the saying goes, once bitten, twice shy. They had been trapped by the formation twice. Although their lives weren't in danger, being toyed with again and again made them even angrier. Their morale was low. Weren't they being toyed with in the palm of someone else's hand? Commander Nye, what should we do next? Should we advance or retreat? Chen Wanshan looked at Nie Yunfeng and asked in a low voice. Since we're already here, why should we retreat? Isn't that boosting the morale of others and diminishing our own prestige? I must bring this group of people to justice. I want to see where they can run to. Whether it's to the sky or to the ground, this Water Curtain Mountain will make them unable to hide. How could Nie Yunfeng retreat at this moment? They had already come this far. Although they had been tricked by the two formations, if they turned back now, it would be even more shameful. If he didn't punish those demons and evil spirits, how could he still have the face to be a commander? His subordinates wouldn't be convinced, and they would even laugh their teeth off. Nie Yunfeng couldn't afford to lose face like this. The arrow was knocked on the bowstring, and it had to be released. This was something no one could refuse. If they took a step back, they would fall into a bottomless abyss. Nie Yunfeng had to go all out. The heavy responsibility of the Knights of the Apocalypse and his own glory couldn't be thrown away. Everyone, listen up. Every 100 people will form a group and search every inch of the area. We must capture those demons and evil spirits. Once found, kill them without mercy. Follow the signal. Anyone who can kill those demons and evil spirits will be heavily rewarded. Chapter 48-55. Brother Chen, how about you lead 50 of your subordinates and 38 new horsemen to bring up the rear for us? Nie Yunfeng looked at Chen Wanshan and narrowed his eyes. At the same time, he sent a voice transmission. Since you're not willing to take the lead and take the risk, I won't force you. Help me kill that new squad leader, Jiang Chen. Commander, you and I will owe you a favor. Nie Yunfeng's voice transmission made Chen Wanshan's eyes light up. Nie Yunfeng could tell that he didn't want to take the risk, so he wanted him to bring up the rear and lead the new horsemen to gain experience. This was a good job and suited him. Wouldn't killing a new student be a piece of cake? Chen Wanshan didn't know that Jiang Chen had defeated Yu Huan. He had been outside for the past few days and had only heard that Yu Huan had some grudges with the new horseman Jiang Chen. Nie Yunfeng and Yu Huan were practically on the same side, so it wasn't hard to guess. Yu Huan and Nie Yunfeng both wanted Jiang Chen's life, so it wasn't bad for him to do them a favor at little cost. If Nie Yunfeng and Yu Huan owed him a favor, it would be very worthwhile. Good. I won't disappoint Commander Nie. Chen Wanshan said righteously. He and Nie Yunfeng looked at each other and smiled. Their eyes were full of ambiguity. All freshmen, heed my orders. Follow me and bring up the rear for Commander Nie and the others. This training is very important to you, but remember not to be arrogant. You must listen to orders. As horsemen of the apocalypse, you only have one goal, and that is to absolutely obey orders. Chen Wanshan's admonition filled the ears of every new horseman. At this time, Nie Yunfeng had already led the other teams forward. It looks like there won't be a big battle this time. Sigh, that's right. We're bringing up the rear for the main team. Isn't that just acting according to the situation? Boring, really boring. Don't let your guard down. Who knows when a big battle will come? Do you think we're all doing nothing here? It's fine if nothing happens, but if something does, our mission will be the most important. That's right. We still have to be careful. As freshmen, we have to have the awareness of freshmen. Compared to them, we're clearly still a bit immature. We can't help but admire them. We still don't understand the apocalypse Milky Way City. It's better to be safe than sorry. Let's go. Follow in Commander Chen's footsteps. You have to take things one step at a time. Sea demons should take things one step at a time. Although everyone was hot-blooded and wanted to have a great battle at this moment, once the real battle began, they would not be as relaxed as they were now. Although Jiang Chen's innate astral soul had yet to awaken, the voice transmission between Nie Yunfeng and Chen Wanshan was clearly heard by him. Right now, for those below the star grade, they simply had no way to hide from him. Even though his innate astral soul had yet to be formed, it was already starting to show its extraordinary might. At the very least, at this moment, only Jiang Chen himself knew how terrifying this innate astral soul was. Once his innate astral soul was formed, the entire heavenly awakening starfield would be under his control. Jiang Chen yearned for this at all times. Right now, the most important thing for Jiang Chen was to take care of himself. These two fellows actually wanted to harm him. It seemed like his previous vigilance against Nie Yunfeng was correct. Otherwise, Nie Yunfeng could topple him at any time. Chen Wanshan had already reached an agreement with Nie Yunfeng. He had to complete his counterattack before Nie Yunfeng made a move. Kill him or be killed by him. Now, you have to obey my orders 100%. As new knights, you should understand what you should and shouldn't do. Don't make me worry for you. This is a battlefield, not a place for you to play house. I don't care where you were before, or how many geniuses you are. In my Knights of the Apocalypse, you are a knight shouldering a mission and glory. You have to fight for the sake of protecting the Apocalypse Milky Way City. Do you understand? Chen Wanshan spoke in a heavy voice. At this moment, Nie Yunfeng and the others had already left. So, all of you better be careful. Be prepared to fight or be fought. Let's go. After Chen Wanshan finished speaking, he took the lead and walked at the very front. He didn't care about these newcomers. As long as he found an opportunity to get rid of Jiang Chen, his mission would be complete. Even if 100 people encountered any danger, they would be able to deal with it. Furthermore, they would be supporting Nie Yunfeng from the rear. The road ahead had already been flattened, and he didn't want to get involved in any dangerous situations. He didn't want to be meritorious, but he wanted to avoid making mistakes. Especially after being in the Knights of the Apocalypse for so many years, he was already a wily old fox. For 3 consecutive days, nothing happened. Chen Wanshan and the others advanced very slowly. The surrounding mountains and rivers actually gave off a feeling of paradise. There was not the slightest sense of danger, which also made many people relax their vigilance. But at this moment, Jiang Chen's eyes suddenly lit up. He sensed De Huang's aura. This guy actually turned back. Aren't you 2F** king arrogant? Jiang Chen thought to himself. But if he wasn't arrogant, then he wouldn't be De Huang. An eye for an eye was not a gentleman. As long as there was a bit of hatred, De Huang could drive you to a dead end. After suffering so much in the Knights of the Apocalypse's prison, how could De Huang be willing to leave? This water curtain mountain was full of danger. He was fighting with his back to the wall, and he wanted to fight the Knights of the Apocalypse to the end. But by relying on the array, De Huang did have this confidence. Before De Huang approached, he already knew of the other party's existence. Jiang Chen was very excited and couldn't help but interact with De Huang. "Brat, you actually want to use roundabout tactics? Are you courting death? Under the brilliance of my Knights of the Apocalypse, you have nowhere to hide." Jiang Chen deliberately changed his vocal cords and sent a voice transmission to bewitch De Huang. De Huang's expression suddenly changed, and he trembled all over. He didn't expect that his meticulous plan would be seen through, and even sent a voice transmission to him. Who was this person? He was probably a stellar-level powerhouse. De Huang cursed inwardly. It seemed that he had guessed wrong. There really was a stellar-level powerhouse among this group of Knights of the Apocalypse. De Huang looked up at the sky and murmured, the corners of his mouth cold. "What do you mean, senior? I'm not easily frightened. If you want to catch me, it depends on whether you have the ability or not. If I want to kill you, it'll be as easy as taking something from my pocket. Dog, hurry up and die." Jiang Chen's words made De Huang feel as if he was facing a formidable enemy. But after 10 minutes, De Huang was still in a fighting state, and the demons behind him were also dumbfounded, not knowing what was going on. "F***CKU, are you playing with me?" De Huang roared. He found that the mysterious powerhouse hadn't made a move, but he had been foolishly waiting here for the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. Chapter 4856. Ha ha ha, I'm toying with you. After Jiang Chen laughed, his voice was the same as before. De Huang was furious at first, then his eyes lit up, and then his anger soared to the sky. "Little Chenzi, you bastard. F***CKU, mother***cur. Big Yellow's heart was filled with excitement. Although he was still angry, he couldn't help but feel excited. He couldn't wait to meet up with Jiang Chen. For a long time, De Huang had been looking for Jiang Chen, but there was no news at all. He had been schemed against by Yu Huan and the Knights of the Apocalypse, so he had been brooding over it. However, Jiang Chen had not appeared, which made De Huang very depressed. At this moment, Jiang Chen appeared out of nowhere. De Huang was very happy, but little Chenzi, that bastard, actually schemed against him. Lord Dog had never been so humiliated in his life. "Lord Dog, you dare to play tricks on me? I'm not done with you. I'm not done with you." De Huang's anger was mixed with excitement, and he could not hide the joy in his heart. Although he had been tricked by Jiang Chen, it was the happiest he had been in a long time. Because the two brothers could fight side by side again. "You have no sense of humor at all. Forget it, I can't be bothered to lower myself to your level. I'm now a member of the Knights of the Apocalypse, but the leader, Chan Wan Shan, wants to kill me. Let's set up a trap and kill him." Jiang Chen's voice once again reached De Huang's ears. Tricking people? De Huang's eyes lit up. He loved tricking people the most. Since little Chenzi had tricked him once, he would vent his anger on the Knights of the Apocalypse. "All right then. You chase after me, and we'll kill him together." De Huang narrowed his eyes and gradually approached Chen Wanshan and the others. "Oh, isn't this the Knights of the Apocalypse? Ha ha ha, you bastards, you still want to chase me? Lord Dog will play with you today." De Huang's voice was like a great bell, resounding through the mountains. Everyone looked at the water and saw a De Huang dog swaggering over, followed by many demons and evil spirits. All the horsemen of the apocalypse pricked up their ears at this moment, their eyes shining. Chen Wanshan was no exception. He did not expect that this group of people would dare to return. He was not afraid of this group of demons and devils. What he was afraid of was that he would encounter a great demon in this water curtain mountain that was difficult to deal with and would be consigned to eternal damnation. The appearance of De Huang and the others was exactly what he wanted. The heavens were on his side. Wasn't this the heavens giving him credit? After dealing with these prisoners, his position in the Horsemen of the Apocalypse would be more stable, and he might even be promoted as an exception. Chen Wanshan did not expect his luck to be so good. If he had been blocked by Nye Yunfeng, then the credit might have gone to someone else. There was a path to heaven, but you refused to take it. There was no door to hell, but you chose to throw yourself into it. Arrogant and conceited guy, It seems that you really don't know the abilities of the horsemen of the apocalypse. You actually dare to provoke us and turn around to oppose us. How many brains do you have? Chen Wanshan sneered, fearlessly facing De Huang. They were the guardians of the Apocalypse Galaxy City, so how could they be afraid of these demons and devils? Moreover, they had hundreds of experts, so it would be easy for them to kill these guys. Chen Wanshan's heart was indescribably happy. Wasn't this a deal that was delivered to his doorstep? He, Lord Dog is so unyielding. What can you do? If I don't teach the horsemen of the apocalypse a lesson, how can I stop? I'll make you suffer 10 times, 100 times the pain I suffered in the heavenly prison. De Huang said arrogantly, causing many of the horsemen of the apocalypse to burn with anger and eagerness. Commander Chen, this thief is arrogant. We must not show weakness. We must kill him at the foot of the Water Curtain Mountain. We request to fight this bastard. We hope Commander Chen will agree. Fight, fight, fight. One roar after another reverberated between the mountains and rivers. De Huang had already aroused the public's anger. At this time, every horseman of the apocalypse bravely stepped forward, determined to kill De Huang. Jiang Chen, he's not the one you're looking for. Tong Ling looked at Jiang Chen in surprise. Jiang Chen sent a voice transmission to her, signaling her not to speak. Luo Ying also frowned, but looking at Jiang Chen's appearance, he should have his own arrangements, so she chose to remain silent. For the two of them, Jiang Chen was far more trustworthy than the horsemen of the apocalypse because Jiang Chen had saved their lives and was worthy of being friends with him. Look at what you're capable of. I've traveled the world for so many years, but I've never encountered a group of cowards like you. Come on, hit me. Watch how I deal with you. Once I come out of seclusion in your cells, none of you will have a good time. De Huang sneered, looking down on everyone. At this time, if it were not for Chen Wanshan, these battle-hardened horsemen would have already charged at De Huang. You're just a dead dog. What's the hurry? I'll send you to heaven now and then take your dog life to the commander to receive the reward. Chen Wanshan's eyes were cold. This dead dog was really arrogant. He had to tear this guy into 1,000 pieces. Don't just talk. Can you do it or not? Don't tell me you're all wax spearheads that look good but are useless? Ha! De Huang wagged his tail. Even Jiang Chen could not help but laugh at his infuriating appearance. Jiang Chen, as the captain of the freshman squad, you'll be the vanguard. This battle will be the time to test your strength. Chen Wanshan patted Jiang Chen's shoulder and said. At this time, Chen Wanshan had already given orders, and Jiang Chen naturally could not resist. Disobeying military orders on the battlefield was a capital offense, and Chen Wanshan naturally had his own plans, to kill with a borrowed knife. This dead dog was quite capable. If he could use him to kill Jiang Chen, then he would not have to do it himself. Moreover, this guy's array formation was very strange. If he attacked first, he would very likely fall into his array formation. Even if his life was not in danger, he would definitely be in a sorry state. Therefore, Chen Wanshan naturally gave this glorious task to Jiang Chen and let him take the vanguard. It could be said to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Don't worry, don't have any doubts. I'll be behind you, and I absolutely won't allow any danger to befall you. These guys are just a bunch of clay chickens and pottery dogs that can't withstand a single blow. They're just barking loudly. Otherwise, how could they have been captured and brought into the horsemen of the apocalypse? Now is the time for you to make a name for yourself. Don't miss this opportunity to test you. Go, Jiang Chen. Chen Wanshan had high hopes for Jiang Chen, and his eyes were full of certainty. Thank you for your guidance, Commander Chen. Jiang Chen smiled slightly, extremely confident. Chapter 48-57. Isn't this Chen Wanshan cheating others? Letting brother Jiang take the lead. Isn't it obvious that he wants to scheme against him? That's right. Although brother Jiang is the new squad leader, he lacks experience. It's too dangerous for him to deal with that De Huang dog alone at this time. Previously, many knights suffered losses from the arrays of those demons and evil spirits. Brother Jiang is in danger. Sigh, the tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. It seems that this Chen Wanshan is not a good person. Many of the new knights were worried for Jiang Chen. Letting him take the lead to deal with those demons and evil spirits alone, was this not cheating others? Jiang Chen made a solemn vow with no fear on his face, which made the others even more worried. Are all of you horsemen of the apocalypse cowards? It seems that I really overestimated you. Trash, a bunch of trash. De Huang was still cussing very arrogantly. If it weren't for Chen Wanshan's suppression, they would have already exploded. Vanguard Jiang Chen. Follow me to battle. You'll take the lead. Chen Wanshan pointed at De Huang, his gaze sharp and cold as frost. He glanced at Jiang Chen and sneered in his heart. Little bastard, today is the day you die. With so many demons and evil spirits, let's see how you escape. When the time comes, I'll tear you into pieces. Jiang Chen obeys. Jiang Chen did not doubt him and charged at the front. Luo Ying and Tong Ling looked at each other, not knowing what Jiang Chen was planning. However, he never fought a battle he was not confident in. Naturally, he had his reasons for going forward despite knowing that there was a tiger in the mountain. Where are you going, thief? Eat my sword. Jiang Chen shouted and rushed towards Big Yellow. Both of them were entangled with each other in an instant. Their silhouettes flickered continuously as they fought fiercely. Looks like you're not weak. Humph. Let's see how long you can be so arrogant. Chen Wanshan sneered. Jiang Chen and De Huang were equally matched, and they were even surrounded by danger. Chen Wanshan had been displeased with them for a long time, but he didn't expect Jiang Chen to be so powerful. The two of them continued to move further and further away, from the sky to the ground. However, at this moment, neither of them interfered. The vanguard would fight, and whoever attacked first would lose their momentum. I'll lend you a hand and hold the fort for you. At this time, Chen Wanshan finally moved. However, at this time, Jiang Chen and De Huang also looked at each other and continued to pull apart the battlefield. Jiang Chen was beaten by De Huang until he retreated in the opposite direction. At this time, Chen Wanshan was also chasing after him. He had to personally see Jiang Chen die in the hands of these demons and demons. At that time he would capture them. Wouldn't that show his strength? Most importantly, he would be able to avenge Jiang Chen. As for Jiang Chen's death, he could only blame himself for being too weak. Although he was the one who watched over them during their training, he didn't have the obligation to ensure their safety, did he? Jiang Chen and De Huang fought in the belly of the mountain, surrounded by mountains, waterfalls, and cold air. At this time, Jiang Chen seemed to have fallen into a passive position, and Chen Wanshan's mouth was more and more radiant. Be careful. I'm coming to help you. Chen Wanshan shouted, but he had no intention of making a move. However, Jiang Chen couldn't stand it anymore. He shifted the battle to Chen Wanshan's side, and De Huang was very cooperative. He gave up on Jiang Chen and went straight to Chen Wanshan. A mere peak star emperor. Are you really looking down on me? Ha ha ha, as the commander of the Apocalypse Knights, you should be stronger. I still prefer to fight against the strong. De Huang immediately tangled with Chen Wanshan. Chen Wanshan was depressed. This be asterisk starred. Did he want to fight against two at the same time? De Huang's attacks were ruthless and merciless. He was even more ferocious than before. Chen Wanshan cursed in his heart. This D*MN dog was too infuriating. Don't worry, Commander Chen, I'm coming. Jiang Chen swiftly arrived from behind Chen Wanshan, while De Huang completely sealed off Chen Wanshan's escape route. Chen Wanshan was completely unguarded at this moment, and Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword stabbed into his back. Genesis Qi exploded, instantly pulverizing his internal organs. Chen Wanshan's pupils widened, and his face turned deathly pale. Never in his wildest dreams would he have imagined that the one who had plotted against him was Jiang Chen. How could this guy be so ruthless? Wouldn't Jiang Chen be powerless to protect himself if he killed him? Ugh. In the end, Chen Wanshan vomited a mouthful of blood, completely losing his ability to fight. His life force also began to fade little by little. Even a supreme venerable would be powerless to reverse this situation. It was a situation of certain death. There was no turning back. When you look into the abyss also looks into you. Those who kill will always be killed by others. You've long wanted to kill me, so how can I be merciful? Jiang Chen smiled faintly as he said in an unruffled manner. Even if you kill me, you won't be able to escape death. Chen Wanshan's eyes were filled with rage as he roared hysterically. His heart was filled with unwillingness. De Huang, come here. Jiang Chen waved at De Huang. You're gravely mistaken. Jiang Chen is my little brother, and I will naturally protect him. If you dare to touch him, you'll be making things difficult for me. Grandpa Dog will kick you to death. Chen Wanshan had no way to retaliate against De Huang's kick, which hastened his death. His life force grew increasingly weak, and in the end, he vomited 3 mouthfuls of blood. From Jiang Chen's point of view, Chen Wanshan seemed to have been angered to death. You're getting more and more arrogant. You even dare to shout at me. If I don't teach you a lesson, you'll become more and more mischievous. Jiang Chen rolled his eyes at De Huang. Do you think Grandpa Dog is afraid of you? Come. Let's fight for 300 rounds. De Huang had a fearless look on his face. I can't be bothered to talk nonsense with you. Your current identity is very sensitive. You can't use the identity of De Huang Dog for the time being. Jiang Chen said sternly. This matter was urgent. If De Huang didn't act properly, he would definitely not stoop to his level. Then I can only reluctantly become a handsome guy. But that Yu Huan also knows my human identity. With a shake of his body, Big Yellow transformed into a handsome man, even more handsome than Jiang Chen. There's no one else besides Yu Huan, right? Jiang Chen said. No one else. Then when we go back, we'll get rid of him first. But you're really bold. You even dared to provoke the Knights of the Apocalypse. You could have run away, but you just had to create a mess. If it wasn't for the fact that the Knights of the Apocalypse are facing internal and external troubles, do you think you could escape so easily? Jiang Chen said. What's there to be afraid of? If it wasn't for this, who knows when you would be able to see Grandpa Dog again? De Huang spread his hands. If it wasn't for you being so arrogant, I would have saved you long ago. I went to the prison to look for you, but I found that you weren't there at all. You've already escaped. You could have come out legally, but you just had to turn the world upside down. Chapter 48:58. Big Yellow shrugged as if it was not bothered, but its face slowly took on a serious look. I was able to escape because someone deliberately let me out, but I don't know who that person is. Someone deliberately let you out? Jiang Chen frowned. This is getting more and more interesting. Jiang Chen knew that someone in the Horsemen of the Apocalypse had helped De Huang, but he didn't know who that person was. Perhaps even he didn't expect that De Huang had never thought of sneaking away and even caused such a huge uproar. If he had sneaked away alone, perhaps the Horsemen of the Apocalypse wouldn't have mobilized so many people to look for him, and he might have slipped away. But De Huang was too unyielding. He absolutely wouldn't allow anyone to ride on his head and shit on him, so he had to turn the Horsemen of the Apocalypse upside down to satisfy himself. Forget it. In any case, that person shouldn't have any intention of harming me, or else it wouldn't have been so troublesome. You've really made it hard for me to find you, little Chenzi. De Huang's eyes were full of worry, but he was finally relieved. There are many experts here, so you have to keep a low profile. F***CK. You're still talking about me? Why don't you keep a low profile? If you had kept a low profile, you wouldn't have turned the Horsemen of the Apocalypse's prison upside down. Jiang Chen said angrily. However, Jiang Chen understood that De Huang must have gone through a lot of hardships to find him. On this huge apocalypse planet, his aimless search was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Moreover, he was captured by the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, so one could imagine how dangerous it was. When brothers met, a firm hug was worth 1,000 words. As long as that damned Yu Huan isn't here, I won't be exposed, De Huang said. He and Jiang Chen had never been bashful people. Don't worry, Yu Huan. He won't live for long. Jiang Chen's eyes were as sharp as knives, filled with killing intent. By the way, do you have any news about Monkey and the others? De Huang looked at Jiang Chen hopefully. Jiang Chen shook his head and sighed. He was also quite worried. He didn't know where the monkey, Mu Yibai, and Xiaolong were. Perhaps they were on the Heaven Awakened planet, or perhaps they weren't here at all. The formation had been destroyed, so it was already a great fortune for them to have survived. Now, Jiang Chen had only found De Huang. Wind, frost, rain, snow, and reincarnation. He didn't know when they would meet again. You don't have to worry too much. Monkey is a tough guy. With Mu Yibai around, he'll definitely behave. As for Xiaolong, there's even less of a need to worry. He's a genius. The more De Huang spoke, the more uncomfortable he felt. Xiaolong was still a child. It would be fine if he was with a monkey, but if he was alone, he didn't know how much danger he would have to face. Heaven helps the worthy. Don't worry. Leave with me. The Knights of the Apocalypse should be able to exterminate those demons and evils, Zhangchen said. Don't. Those demons and evil spirits are all top-notch experts. There are 14 experts half a step away from the star level, and the rest are all at the peak of the Star Emperor realm. There are about 40 of them, and they have all been recruited by me. Didn't your Buddha prison pagoda take them in? I'm not the kind of person who would burn bridges after crossing the river. Since this group of people chose to follow me, of course, I won't treat them badly. De Huang patted his chest and said, Okay. Zhang Chen's eyes lit up. Such a large force was quite good for them. De Huang sent a voice transmission to those demons and evils. They rushed over immediately and found Jiang Chen and De Huang standing side by side. They were about to attack Jiang Chen. Weren't they courting death? Stop. He's my brother. You have to listen to him in the future. If you want to be strong, you have to follow us. Little Chenzi, show them what you've got. De Huang looked very arrogant. Jiang Chen also cooperated with him. He pretended that he had to do everything. He showed the Buddha prison pagoda. Tens of thousands of monsters at the peak Star Emperor realm were running around in it, which shocked them. There aren't many spatial artifacts like this in the world. I've never heard of one. Yeah, there are so many monsters. F***CK. Thousands of peak Star Emperors. Isn't that too powerful? I'm afraid they can even compete with the Knights of the Apocalypse. My gosh. No wonder you're our big brother. We're now wanted by the Knights of the Apocalypse. If we're caught, we'll definitely die. You've seen those guys. They can't wait to eat us alive. I don't care. Anyway, following Lord Dog won't be wrong. Yeah, we'll all follow your Lord Dog. Everyone looked at each other. They were completely stunned by the Buddha prison pagoda. At this time, they should hurry to show their loyalty to Lord Dog. De Huang was very confident and excited. He finally became the boss. These guys were all brought out of the heavenly prison by him. Naturally, they were very proud. At this time, Jiang Chen saw an evil wolf on a mountain in the distance. He instantly rushed to the wolf, killed it, and carried it on his shoulder. What kind of rare animal is this evil wolf? De Huang looked at Jiang Chen and asked in confusion. Of course. This is not an ordinary evil wolf. Jiang Chen said seriously. Let's go. Jiang Chen moved his palm and put Chen Wanshan's corpse into his bag. Naturally, these demons and evil spirits were also put into the Buddha prison pagoda by Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen and De Huang rushed back to the camp of the Knights of the Apocalypse without stopping. Everyone was looking forward to it with extremely serious expressions. Jiang Chen, where's Commander Chen? Why didn't he come back with you? Yeah, where's Commander Chen? Jiang Chen's eyes dimmed. He sighed and took out Chen Wanshan's corpse with a flip of his hand. Everyone's expression changed drastically, filled with horror. This. How is this possible? Commander Chen. Commander Chen is dead? That's impossible. Jiang Chen, what's going on? Many of them were Chen Wanshan's men. Commander Chen's death made them grief-stricken, and they questioned Jiang Chen. Commander Chen and I joined forces to resist the enemy, but he was killed by that damned dog in a rage. I was lucky to escape with my life. If it weren't for this brother's help, I definitely wouldn't have been able to escape. I don't know him, but he risked his life to save me. We joined forces and killed that big damned dog, finally avenging Commander Chen. Jiang Chen said with great grief, his eyes filled with disappointment and guilt. How is this possible? Commander Chen was so powerful, but he died in the hands of that damned dog. Commander Chen, you died so tragically. When Jiang Chen saw their expressions, he quickly took out the evil wolf that had died tragically. This is that damn dog. I've already killed him. Commander Chen has been avenged and should be able to smile in the underworld. F***CK. De Huang looked at Jiang Chen with disdain. I suspect that you're insulting my intelligence. This was clearly a wolf. How could it be a dog? Chapter 48:59. Isn't this a wolf? Someone looked puzzled. Wolves and dogs are one family. This is that dead dog. He was in disguise, and his true form was revealed after I killed him. Jiang Chen said without hesitation. De Huang almost knelt down in front of Jiang Chen, and there was only worship in his eyes. Little Chen, you mother asterisk cur. You're too asterisk king awesome. You've made it sound so dignified. I, Master Dog, admit my defeat. De Huang said via voice transmission, full of admiration for Jiang Chen. Many people looked puzzled and incredulous. Commander Chen's death and this evil wolf were too perfunctory, right? However, only Jiang Chen and this handsome man were involved. Even if they had doubts, there was no evidence. Captain is mighty. Mighty. Although the older knights were still doubtful, the newly promoted knights didn't care about Captain Chen's life or death. Jiang Chen was their squad leader, an outstanding talent among the freshmen. He had brought them great honor. What did it mean to share the glory? Jiang Chen had killed the demons and evil spirits that had escaped from the prison. When he returned this time, they would definitely be valued and all the knights of the apocalypse would look at them with new eyes. Luo Ying waved her arms and cheered. Immediately, these newly promoted knights were filled with a sense of honor and loudly cheered for Lin Fan. Jiang Chen smiled faintly. This was what it meant to live up to everyone's expectations. Even if some people were skeptical, they could only give up. After all, Chen Wanshan was dead, and that dead dog was killed. Their encirclement operation this time could be considered to have come to an end. I suggest that Jiang Chen temporarily take over the position of commander. After all, he avenged Commander Chen and killed the demons and evil spirits. His strength is obvious to all. If everyone is a group without a leader, it will be difficult to predict what dangers we will encounter in this water curtain mountain. Luo Ying said in a deep voice and looked at Jiang Chen. I agree. All the newly promoted knights agreed without exception. Jiang Chen was their flag and glory. At this moment, they had to support Jiang Chen resolutely. The old knights were somewhat unconvinced, but now the situation was critical, and Jiang Chen was the trusted squad leader who had killed the demons and evil spirits. They could not say anything. Since that's the case, I won't pass on this responsibility. I've already killed that detestable De Huang dog. We need to hurry up and catch up with Commander Nye and the others. We'll decide what to do after we meet up. Jiang Chen said in a low voice with his head held high. Understood. Everyone nodded and followed Jiang Chen's footsteps as they continued to advance towards the water curtain mountain. Tong Ling blushed. She patted Jiang Chen's shoulder and said in a low voice, Is that person your friend? Yeah, what's wrong? Why are you blushing? Jiang Chen said. No, you're the one blushing. I'm not. Tong Ling glanced at De Huang from afar. Her face was as red as a ripe apple, and she was still talking back. Jiang Chen's smile gradually bloomed. You have a good impression of him, don't you? Love at first sight? I thought you liked me. It turns out that I've been thinking too much. Sigh. Jiang Chen spread his hands and said helplessly. Get lost. You're my brother. It's not the same. Tong Ling's face was burning. She rolled her eyes at Jiang Chen. She did like De Huang because De Huang was too handsome and heroic. He did not say a word and looked unfathomable. Tong Ling was completely immersed in it. She did not expect that love at first sight would feel like this. It made her heart beat faster. However, it was seen through by Jiang Chen. Was it really that obvious? Come. This is my brother. You are also my brother. From now on, the two of you are also brothers. Jiang Chen took De Huang's hand and held Tong Ling's hand, saying with a serious face. Tong Ling was speechless. She glared at Jiang Chen. Hello, I'm Huang Huihong. De Huang's face was cold, and he said meticulously, My name is Tong Ling. In the future, please take care of me. Tong Ling lowered her head. She did not even dare to look at De Huang. Does this lady have cervical spondylosis? Why does she always lower her head? Big Yellow's serious expression made Jiang Chen extremely happy. This fellow was purposely teasing Tong Ling, causing the latter to feel so ashamed that he wanted to find a hole to hide in. At this moment, Luo Ying's mouth also curved into a meaningful smile. It seemed that she had one less competitor. All right, let's go catch up to Commander Nye first. This water curtain mountain is not a good place. Jiang Chen patted De Huang's shoulder. This guy did not shy away at all. He even had a teasing expression when facing Tong Ling. Jiang Chen was really worried that he would make her cry. Everyone followed in Jiang Chen's footsteps and sped up. After all, Water Curtain Mountain was not a place for sightseeing. At dusk of the second day, Jiang Chen and the others finally caught up with the main force. At this time, Nie Yunfeng was only leading a team of 100 knights, searching every inch of the area. The fact that Jiang Chen and the others had caught up with them made Nie Yunfeng very puzzled. Commander Nie, the rearguard has caught up and said that they have something important to report. A horseman reported to Nie Yunfeng. Nie Yunfeng frowned. Didn't he tell them to stay in the rear? He wondered if Jiang Chen was dead or not. However, the moment Nie Yunfeng saw Jiang Chen, his face turned incomparably gloomy. He knew that Chen Wanshan had failed, and the one who led the reinforcements was none other than Jiang Chen. In other words, Chen Wanshan was probably no longer here. What's going on? I need you to give me a reasonable explanation. Nie Yunfeng said in a deep voice, looking straight at Jiang Chen. Commander Chen has sacrificed himself in the battle against demons and evil. I feel extremely guilty, so I temporarily assumed the position of commander and brought my brothers back to the knights. Now that I have returned, I will listen to Commander Nie's arrangements. Jiang Chen said indifferently, neither servile nor overbearing. He looked at Nie Yunfeng, who seemed to see the coldness in Jiang Chen's eyes. Did this guy already know that I wanted to kill him? He did not know if Chen Wanshan had said these words before he died, but Nie Yunfeng knew that he had to be on guard. He even suspected that Chen Wanshan had really been killed by those demons and evil. Or was there more to it? Chen Wanshan sacrificed his life for the Apocalypse planet. It is his honor. After returning to the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, I will ask for a reward for his contributions. But why did you suddenly appear here? Nie Yunfeng asked Lung Lung. The leader Big Yellow has been killed by me. All of those demons and devils are either dead or injured. They are scattered like birds and beasts. That's why I'm here to report. Jiang Chen said. What? That hateful De Huang dog is already dead? Nie Yunfeng couldn't believe it. They had sent so many horsemen of the apocalypse and mobilized so many people, but they were all killed by you? Didn't I come here for nothing? This is his corpse. Chapter 4860. Are you insulting my IQ? Are you sure this is the De Huang dog that turned the Knights of the Apocalypse's prison upside down? I'm sure. I killed the dog. He was originally a wolf disguised as a dog. Jiang Chen didn't doubt him and spoke with certainty. You. Good. In that case it looks like we should go back. Ha ha. Nie Yunfeng said with a faint smile. Jiang Chen didn't seem to be very honest. He couldn't guarantee that Jiang Chen was responsible for Chen Wanshan's death, but he also couldn't be sure that Jiang Chen wasn't a suspect. In short, Nie Yunfeng was ready to kill Jiang Chen at Water Curtain Mountain this time. When we go back, I'll definitely reward you. At that time, I believe that even the vice captain will reward you. As expected of a young hero. Jiang Chen, as a freshman, you really made me look at you in a different light. Ha ha. Nie Yunfeng deliberately showed that he trusted Jiang Chen and nodded with a smile. Everyone, get ready. Send the signal and get ready to go back. Since those demons and evil spirits have been eliminated, there's no need for us to continue staying here. The entire Knights of the Apocalypse are in need of manpower now. The Apocalypse Milky Way City has internal and external troubles, so we naturally can't waste all our time here. Jiang Chen, listen to my order. You can temporarily take the position of captain and command the original subordinates. But now, you have to stand on the last shift and follow me to protect the safety of the Knights of the Apocalypse. When we leave Water Curtain Mountain, you will be a meritorious subject of the Knights of the Apocalypse. Nie Yunfeng's voice was loud and clear, and his face was full of smiles. Since Chen Wanshan was dead, then he would personally kill Jiang Chen. He had previously encountered a thunderstorm canyon that could borrow the power of the wind. It was perfect as Jiang Chen's burial ground. Chen Wanshan couldn't kill him, so he was lucky. But since Jiang Chen was so obedient without the slightest doubt, Nie Yunfeng didn't dare to take him lightly, so he used this method to kill Jiang Chen. In the eyes of outsiders, he was just training Jiang Chen and giving Jiang Chen a better opportunity to make contributions. But only Jiang Chen knew that this guy was thinking about how to deal with him. If you want me to die, then don't even think about leaving here alive. I'll kill you first, then I'll kill you Huan. None of you can escape. It seems that Commander Nie wants to train Jiang Chen. That's right. Why can't such a good opportunity fall on my head? TSK Jiang Chen is a knight of the Tianyuan. Jiang Chen is a new knight. He's a new knight. Jiang Tianyuan. Chen is a Jiang Chen has made a great contribution this time. I'm sure he'll be promoted quickly when he returns. Isn't that obvious? But we can only be envious and jealous. If we want to be like Jiang Chen, we have to work harder. Countless people could only look on and sigh, because Jiang Chen's strength was clear for all to see, and there was nothing they could do to be envious of him. Moreover, he had the merit of killing the demons in the sky prison, so it was only a matter of time before he would be promoted and rich. Nie Yunfen led 100 personal guards, and Jiang Chen was waiting on the side. Even De Huang had been dismissed, leaving Nie Yunfeng alone. You leave with the group first. Don't worry, it's as difficult as ascending the heavens for him to kill me. Don't forget that I still have the Buddha prison pagoda. Jiang Chen transmitted his voice to De Huang. Luo Ying was also quite worried about Jiang Chen's safety. Only the heavens knew what Nie Yunfeng was thinking and what he wanted to do. She knew that Nie Yunfeng's relationship with Yu Huan was not shallow, and it was very likely that Nie Yunfeng would make things difficult for Jiang Chen. I will fight side by side with Commander Nie and pledge my loyalty to the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. You don't have to worry about me. Jiang Chen smiled. He looked confident and calm, as if he had already planned everything. Luo Ying didn't say anything else. Jiang Chen had always been able to turn danger into safety, and even Yu Huan had been defeated by him. She hoped that he could return safely. Good. Do you see that? Only a horseman like Jiang Chen is our glory. Let us cheer for Jiang Chen together. Nie Yunfen patted Jiang Chen's shoulder. The other hundreds of people had already gathered. At this time, Nie Yunfeng waved his hand, and all the horsemen set out from Water Curtain Mountain. Nie Yunfeng looked at the gradually departing horsemen of the apocalypse with a smile on his face. The people left behind were his personal guards, so killing Jiang Chen was as easy as flipping one's hand. Your performance during this time has been very good, Jiang Chen. I can see that you are already comparable to the older members of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Even I, a deputy commander, have to concede defeat. I think Chen Wanshan's death has opened up a good position for you. Ha ha ha. When we return, I don't think you can run away from the position of deputy commander. I don't dare. I'm also very sad about Commander Chen's death. I don't dare to be arrogant and covet the position of commander. I just need to do what I should do. However, if someone wants to harm me, I definitely won't be lenient. Jiang Chen said calmly. Oh, is that so? That makes sense. One shouldn't have the heart to harm others, but one must always be on guard against others. Nie Yunfeng looked at Jiang Chen thoughtfully. Their eyes met, but their eyes were full of conspiracy. When they arrived at the Thunderstorm Canyon, Nie Yunfeng's expression finally changed, and he sternly shouted, Commander Chen's death was caused by Jiang Chen. Commander Chen's death is Jiang Chen's doing. This fella coveted Commander Chen's position and wanted to take over his position. That's why he killed Commander Chen. Such a black sheep must be eliminated to serve as a warning to others. Come, kill Jiang Chen and avenge Commander Chen. Clear the name of the Horseman of the Apocalypse. A person like him is not worthy of being a horseman. To these personal guards, Nie Yunfeng's words were like an imperial edict. They naturally wouldn't doubt it. Even if they did, what could they do? Jiang Chen was only a newly promoted horseman, while Nie Yunfeng was their immediate superior and the commander they had been loyal to for many years. Since Nie Yunfeng said that Jiang Chen had rebelled and killed Chen Wanshan to replace him, then there was no doubt about it. You've finally shed all pretense of cordiality? If you want to pin a crime on someone, you can always find a pretext. It seems that you've already planned this long ago. You can kill me with just one sentence and turn black into white. The Horseman of the Apocalypse has really broadened my horizons. Jiang Chen sneered disdainfully. The Horseman of the Apocalypse had been hiding evil and sheltering evil. He had seen with his own eyes that Nie Yunfeng had colluded with Yu Huan to kill him. Nie Yunfeng had really put in a lot of effort and even Chen Wanshan had died unjustly. There's no point in saying more. Our Horseman of the Apocalypse must punish traitors doubly. You killed Commander Chen, and this is a foregone conclusion. Kill without mercy. Chapter 4861. Kill. Among the 100 horsemen of the apocalypse, there were about 30 half-step star-grade experts, and the rest were peak star emperors. Even a star-grade expert might not be able to compete with such a force. In Nie Yunfeng's opinion, Jiang Chen had already fallen into a dead end. He did not even need to make a move. The 100 horsemen of the apocalypse could easily kill him. Okay, I'll play with you guys today. Jiang Chen unsheathed his sword. His eyes were sharp. There were more than 100 experts gathered here, including Nie Yunfeng. He was no match for them alone, but he had his own army of demonic beasts, which was more than enough to wipe out Nie Yunfeng. A treasured sword's edge was sharpened. However, Jiang Chen needed to train himself, so he planned to handle this battle alone. When he could no longer hold on, he would use his beast army. You're courting death. Even if you defeated Yu Huan, you can't defeat my 100 horsemen. Even ants can kill an elephant. Let's see how long you can hold on, Nie Yunfeng said coldly. Nie Yunfeng crossed his arms and said coldly. When Jiang Chen reached his limit, the pressure on each of the horsemen would be like a heavy burden. Even if he had the ability to fight 20 horsemen at once, the 21st one would suffocate him like Mount Tai. The 22nd one would suffocate him instantly. The 23rd, 24th, would kill him instantly. 1 + 1 was not equal to 2. If Jiang Chen was confident that he could fight so many experts, it could only mean that he was too naive. The 100 experts charging forward seemed messy, but they were actually orderly. After all, they were well-trained horsemen of the apocalypse, guarding the safety of the entire apocalypse Milky Way city. How could they be a motley crew? Which one of them was not a 1 in a million expert? However, they all knew that Jiang Chen had defeated Commander Yu Huan before, so they had to go all out in order to get back at him on behalf of the old horsemen of the apocalypse. If Jiang Chen could not integrate with the horsemen of the apocalypse, then they could only send him to the afterlife. Jiang Chen was awe-inspiring and fearless. He swung his heavenly dragon sword with a majestic aura. Bringing along a surging tyrannical sword aura, he roared forward and rushed into the crowd. Jiang Chen was like a ferocious tiger descending the mountain. His crazy momentum was unstoppable. After exchanging more than 10 blows, Jiang Chen felt a great pressure. Endless attacks were coming from all directions. Jiang Chen had to give it his all in every attack. These guys were too strong, especially when they joined forces. Even a Star Realm expert would have to retreat in front of them. Edited by Lifer. Fingerfox. Jiang Chen was extremely serious. He was unwilling to let his guard down. His boundless sword had reached an unprecedented peak of swordsmanship. Every strike was like a thorn in the sky, proud and arrogant. Sword 22. Sword 23. 27 swords. 28 swords. The momentum of relying on the sword was the most tyrannical. Sword shadows overlapped and raged in the sky. Fighting 1 against 100, Jiang Chen had exhausted all his strength. His Genesis Chi continued to erupt, and it was terrifying. Accompanied by the wind and thunder in the Wind and Thunder Canyon, he pressed forward. Interesting. As expected of someone who could defeat Yu Huan. However, you're still too weak if you want to escape from me. Nie Yunfeng was still calm and unruffled. Although Jiang Chen was strong, he was stronger, and his horseman of the apocalypse was superior. Killing people had long lost its pleasure for him. The most exciting thing was to watch the people he had declared dead struggle to death. That was what Nie Yunfeng liked the most. Feeling the pleasure of death and the despair of others, Nie Yunfeng's abnormality made him even crazier. Therefore, he was not in a hurry to kill Jiang Chen. Instead, he wanted Jiang Chen to walk step by step into the abyss and experience the brilliance of death. In the face of over 100 experts, Jiang Chen finally found it more and more difficult. He advanced step by step and retreated step by step. In anyone's view, even he himself knew that this battle was extremely dangerous, and there was no chance of victory. However, he would never give up. This battle was a great challenge and experience for him, and Jiang Chen did not want to let it go so easily. Pressure was motivation. A flower growing in a greenhouse was too easy to break. Only after experiencing thousands of tempering could it withstand the wind and rain. Jiang Chen ate over a dozen recovery pills in succession. Even with his Genesis Chi reserves, he would not be able to endure such a huge battle. Every single person was charging at him with the intent to kill. Jiang Chen needed to block every single one of their attacks in order to escape alive. There's always someone stronger than you. Jiang Chen finally understood this principle. All of the horsemen of the apocalypse were the elites of the elites. It wouldn't be easy for him to kill them. Now, even protecting himself was a problem. Therefore, he had to seek victory steadily. After exhausting his source qi 3 times, Jiang Chen kept losing ground. After fighting for nearly 2 hours, if it wasn't for the recovery of pills, he would have been completely exhausted and out of energy. At this time, the fighting spirit in Jiang Chen's eyes had not diminished. Although he had no power to fight back and could only choose to be beaten passively, he continued to transform, sublimate, and break through himself in battle. He had gradually touched the threshold of the half-step star realm. This time, he must break through to the half-step star realm. As Jiang Chen fought over 100 horsemen of the apocalypse, the Genesis Qi in his body kept flowing, and the aura of life kept changing. His Dantian had been baptized and tempered again and again, and Jiang Chen knew that he had reached the critical point of breaking through. Fight! 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 Jiang Chen's voice was like thunder, resounding through the clouds. With the domineering aura of the heavenly dragon sword and the limitless sword, he charged left and right, completing counterattacks again and again. Although he could not stroll leisurely, his harvest was immeasurable. Especially under such pressure, he finally broke through. Boom! Jiang Chen felt a loud bang in his mind. His Dantian had undergone a tremendous change. Countless strands of Genesis Qi were scattered, forming rings of energy. The Genesis Qi scattered and gathered and scattered, reformed again and again, changing again and again. The rings of light never dissipated from beginning to end. Is this the first level of the half-step star realm, star transformation? Jiang Chen thought. He had heard from the Black King that once one broke through to the star realm, the Dantian in one's body would change. The Genesis Qi would reorganize, and the Dantian would become a star, becoming a true star realm expert. The third level of star transformation was the Genesis Qi that a half-step star realm expert had to go through, and each level was very difficult. Chapter 4862. His power in Genesis Qi underwent a tremendous change once again. It was as if the gods were helping him. He was no longer as dispirited as before, and began to crazily charge forward. He finally felt a trace of excitement in this battle. He didn't want to be beaten passively. He couldn't continue like this. Half-step star level made Jiang Chen even more confident. Let's fight again. Jiang Chen's sword became faster, and the limitless sword became more powerful. 1 against 10, 1 slash, and all 10 were forced back. Even if there were hundreds of people behind him, Jiang Chen still rushed forward without fear of death. As long as he still had a breath left, he would never retreat. However, at this time, Jiang Chen's sword also underwent a huge change. The limitless sword became sharper, and its murderous aura swept everything in its path. 28 swords was no longer the limit. Jiang Chen constantly transformed from the limitless sword and constantly sought breakthroughs. Relying on the power of the sword, he finally reached the next level. His swordsmanship became slower, and the sword shadows became more hazy. The sword aura had also reached the stage of hiding its edge in the sword. His sword had long been integrated with his body. The limitless sword had long been integrated with Jiang Chen. 29 swords, in the name of the sword. As the wings of the rainbow phoenix, only one sword determined the universe. The sword aura passed through, and one sword fought against 10. 29 swords became more restrained, hiding its edge in the heavenly dragon sword. The limitless sword, with 9 as the extreme peak, was hidden in the sword. Jiang Chen fought 300 rounds to his heart's content. Hundreds of experts couldn't take him down. Half-step star-level strength, coupled with the 29 swords, Jiang Chen's violent momentum had already crushed everyone. This time, he became more and more courageous as he fought. Damn bastard, he actually made his strength break through. Nye Yunfen's face was very gloomy. However, it was basically impossible for Jiang Chen to escape. Although he was already locked in battle with hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse, it was impossible for him to escape. Jiang Chen's strength had exceeded his expectations. Because he knew that Jiang Chen had become even stronger, he was afraid that he was no longer a match for Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's figure shone brightly. Nye Yunfeng was even more afraid of this guy. Today he had to die. Fortunately, he had been prepared and lured it to this thunderstorm canyon. Moreover, there were hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse surrounding it. Otherwise, It would have been unknown who would have won and who would have lost. Even though Jiang Chen was a steel giant, it was still difficult for him to withstand the attacks of over 100 experts. He exerted all his strength and slashed down with his sword, killing 7 people in a row with irresistible force. But a long saber would always blunt, and its edge would always stop. After killing more than 30 people in a row, Jiang Chen defeated dozens more, and he was on the verge of collapse. Although he could not kill everyone in this battle, he was already a nightmarish existence among these horsemen of the apocalypse. The remaining people were struggling at death's door, and their strength was exhausted. In the end, they could only exhaust Jiang Chen to death. It's time to pull in the net. Nie Yunfeng knew that he had to take action now. Otherwise, he was afraid that even if he killed Jiang Chen, he would still suffer a great deal of damage to himself. He would be able to kill Jiang Chen as soon as possible and return home. Jiang Chen, die. Nie Yunfeng waved his hand, and a gust of wind suddenly rose. The wind moved token and the wind of the thunderstorm canyon complemented each other and became even more terrifying. Like a roaring dragon, it crushed down and was about to devour Jiang Chen. Eternal immortal wind. Jiang Chen was as unmoving as a mountain. He used the eternal immortal wind to barely stabilize the situation, but Nie Yunfeng took advantage of the wind and launched a final charge at him with many horsemen of the apocalypse. Jiang Chen could not withstand their sharpness at all. Since that's the case, then I won't be polite with you. Jiang Chen sneered and kept retreating, dodging the attack. He flipped his palm, creating huge waves. Thousands of demonic beasts at the peak of the Star Emperor realm and half a step into the Star realm filled the entire Wind and Thunder Canyon, surrounding Nie Yunfeng and the others. The densely packed demonic beasts sealed off the entire sky. Nie Yunfeng was dumbfounded by what he saw. It wasn't just him. All the horsemen of the apocalypse felt their scalps go numb, and they trembled. There were thousands of beasts, and they had nowhere to hide. Nie Yunfeng's pupils constricted, and his eyes almost popped out of their sockets. He couldn't believe that all of this was Jiang Chen's doing. So many beasts, how is this possible? Nie Yunfeng's face was deathly pale, as if he had fallen into an icy cavern. He knew that even all the horsemen of the apocalypse he had brought might not be a match for so many beasts, not to mention that there were only a few dozen of them. Jiang Chen had killed dozens of them, and they were all defeated soldiers. So many beasts. It looks like we're all going to fall. That's right. We can't escape now. There's no way out. What kind of monster is this Jiang Chen? How can he have so many beasts? He must have a purpose for joining the horsemen of the apocalypse. This guy is the real devil. Oh my God, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I haven't made any achievements yet. I haven't reached the peak of life yet. I haven't. The horsemen of the apocalypse were not omnipotent. They were also afraid of death. These people had all been seriously injured by Jiang Chen. Facing these peak star emperor beasts was tantamount to courting death. Kill! Jiang Chen bellowed. The entire sky was filled with thunder and roars. The horsemen of apocalypse were swept away by the army of demonic beasts like fallen leaves in the autumn wind. Nie Yunfeng was so scared that his soul almost left his body. Jiang Chen, you're courting death. You dare to kill people of the horsemen of the apocalypse and want to assassinate me. The horsemen of the apocalypse will never let you go. There will be no place for you on the apocalypse planet. It's not too late to stop before it's too late. Repent before it's too late. Nie Yunfeng roared at the top of his lungs, looking at the countless beasts around him. His heart turned cold. Jiang Chen was going to kill them all. Was he going to kill them all here? Nie Yunfeng put on a strong front. He knew that using this kind of coercion at this time was basically useless, but he could already feel the threat of death. Those who kill will always be killed. You asked Chen Wanshan to kill me and colluded with Yu Huan. Do you think I don't know? You want to kill me here without anyone noticing, but you overestimate your own strength. There aren't many people who can kill me. Jiang Chen faintly said. Nie Yunfeng's face was full of bitterness. There really weren't many people who could kill him in an army of thousands of beasts. No wonder he didn't seem to be worried from the start. It turned out that everything had been under his control. He had just used the horsemen of the apocalypse as a whetstone. He thought that he had calculated everything, but in the end, he had become a turtle in a jar for Jiang Chen. Let me go, Jiang Chen. I beg you. I'll definitely follow your lead in the future. If you tell me to go east, I definitely won't dare to go west. Nye Yunfeng looked at the dead horseman of the apocalypse and shivered. But how could Jiang Chen believe his nonsense? Nipping all dangers in the cradle was what he loved the most. If he didn't pull out the roots, the weeds would grow again in the spring. Chapter 4863. Jiang Chen stood on top of the river with a cold expression. Countless demon beasts were standing in front of him. He was like an ancient emperor with unstoppable might. Nye Yunfeng was dead, but these 100 horsemen of the apocalypse had become his burial companions. However, Jiang Chen had no pity for them. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to reach where he was today. In order to hide Big Yellow's identity and eliminate those who coveted him, killing was the only way he could do it. The 100 horsemen of the apocalypse were devoured by thousands of monsters, and not even their bones were left. This battle shocked the world and made the gods weep, but no one knew about it. The storm continued as waves rose one after another. However, at this moment, the Wind-Lightning Canyon had already returned to normal. Jiang Chen looked back. The surrounding mountains seemed to be moving in the river, but it also seemed like an illusion, making Jiang Chen's heart pound. After all, this water curtain mountain was not a good place, so it was better to leave as soon as possible. When Jiang Chen caught up with the army alone, everyone was dumbfounded. Why did Jiang Chen come back alone? Where was Commander Nye? Where were the 100 horsemen of the apocalypse? Jiang Chen, where is Commander Nye? Why are you alone? Yes. Where is Commander Nye? Where are our horsemen? Jiang Chen, what happened? Hurry up and tell us. Almost everyone looked at Jiang Chen. They were supposed to return home to be rewarded, but now, Commander Nye and the 100 horsemen of the apocalypse had disappeared without a trace? Only the unbearably unrestrained Jiang Chen was left. How could this be justified? We encountered a super monster with star-level strength. Commander Nye sacrificed himself, as did over 100 horsemen of the apocalypse. Before he died, Commander Nye desperately sent me out, saying that I was the future hope of the horsemen of the apocalypse. As for them, they were completely wiped out. Jiang Chen said with a sorrowful expression. How is this possible? Commander Nye is so strong. How could this be? You must be lying, Jiang Chen. Did you do something to Commander Nye? Everyone else died. Why are you the only one who survived? No, there must be something fishy about this. Many people found it hard to accept this fact, but now it was true that only Jiang Chen would come. Everyone else had disappeared without a trace. If I was that capable, would I still be here now? One person killed Commander Nye and hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse? Do you really think I'm a god? Humph, I have no enmity with Commander Nye, so why must I do this? You guys are simply spouting nonsense. Don't you have brains? Commander Nye and hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse sacrificed themselves, and only I returned. Is this your attitude? Jiang Chen said with a sneer. That's right. Commander Jiang escaped from death. Can you guys use your brains? Commander Jiang is mighty. We believe in you. What should we do now? Is a big monster coming? Everyone knew about the situation on Mount Water Curtain, and no one would be surprised if a demon really appeared. Commander Nye's death was the best proof. Many people seemed to wake up from a dream. They really shouldn't blame Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen could not possibly have that ability. How could a new horseman fight against hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse and Commander Nye? If you don't leave now, I'm afraid it'll be too late. You don't know how terrifying the demons on Mount Water Curtain are, De Huang said in a deep voice. Big Yellow said in a deep voice. As an outsider, he had the deepest understanding of the situation because he was the one Jiang Chen met in the Water Curtain Mountain. The demons here are greater than heaven and earth and have the ability to rule the world. I once witnessed a battle between two stellar-level demons. That was the true change of heaven and earth. Countless innocent demon beasts died, whether on the mountain or in the sea. As long as it was within a radius of 100 kilometers, not even a blade of grass grew. De Huang's face was solemn, and his words were righteous. Being handsome was the hard truth, and almost no one doubted him. Whether it was men or women, De Huang's appearance was extremely convincing. Many people looked at each other. Although they had never seen the demons on Mount Water Curtain, they had long heard of them. It was not impossible for them to die here. Wasn't Commander Nye and hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse the best proof? Many people mistakenly thought that it was Jiang Chen's doing because of their impatience just now. But did he really have this ability? Obviously, this was their guess. It seemed that they had to leave as soon as possible. Commander Jiang, please temporarily take over the position of commander and preside over the overall situation for us. Commander Jiang, please temporarily take over the position of commander. The freshmen petitioned, but the old horsemen were very unconvinced. However, Jiang Chen was truly capable, so they had no reason not to believe him. Being able to escape from the annihilation of Commander Nye and hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse, was this not proof of Jiang Chen's strength? I don't agree. What right does he have to be our commander? That's right. Can a freshman captain really be stronger than our Commander Chen? Many of Chen Wanshan's old subordinates took Commander Chen's death to heart and blamed it on Jiang Chen. In addition, he did not have any achievements, so it was reasonable for him to be recognized. Hey, you probably don't know, but Commander Yu Huan was defeated by Jiang Chen. That battle shocked the entire horsemen of the apocalypse. That's right. Jiang Chen is still very strong, and he's probably on par with Commander Nye. He defeated Commander Yu Huan and is highly regarded by the horsemen of the apocalypse. What? There's such a thing? Why didn't I know about it? You've been carrying out missions outside and haven't returned for a long time with Commander Chen. Jiang Chen defeated Commander Yu Huan. That was thrilling and exciting, and it happened not long ago. It seems that Jiang Chen does indeed have the strength of a commander, someone exclaimed. Someone exclaimed. Even Commander Yu Huan was defeated by Jiang Chen. It seemed like this new student had gradually risen to power. Especially now that he was like a dragon without a leader, his strength and power could be seen even more clearly. The dissatisfied voices from before gradually faded. It was easier for the strong to be respected, no matter where. Commander Jiang, please temporarily take over the position of commander. Deep shouts rang out like a tsunami. The corners of De Huang's mouth curled up into a smile. Wasn't little Chenzi happy to be the commander? It seemed that he would be able to flatten the horsemen of the apocalypse soon. Chapter 48-64. Then I'll do as you say. Brothers, as long as we can leave this place alive, we can see the sun tomorrow. I believe that there are no cowards in the Knights of the Apocalypse. Jiang Chen's expression turned cold, his voice low. Move forward quickly. Jiang Chen didn't hesitate to give the order. The longer they stayed here, the greater the danger. You're quite ruthless, little Chenzi. Over 100 people were killed by you. De Huang chuckled and whispered to Jiang Chen. They killed me, so I definitely won't let them have it easy. But I keep feeling that something is wrong here, as if there are countless eyes watching us. Jiang Chen looked around and walked on the waves, his brows furrowed, seemingly a little worried. Don't worry about it. Haha, you're the biggest in the Knights of the Apocalypse now. Once you leave Mount Watercurtain and return to the Knights of the Apocalypse, you'll definitely be put in an important position. Your meteoric rise is just around the corner. He. De Huang beamed with joy. Don't be happy too early. I don't want to die here. Jiang Chen glared at De Huang and continued forward. In the middle of the night, De Huang couldn't walk anymore. Why aren't we moving? Jiang Chen looked at De Huang. I smell a treasure. Believe it or not, little Chenzi, this treasure is likely to be the key to our breakthrough. De Huang said seriously. Jiang Chen knew that De Huang wouldn't make trouble without reason. Moreover, he had an extremely strong perception of heavenly treasures. Since he said there was a treasure, then there was absolutely no way it could be wrong. Jiang Chen looked around. The wind and waves were getting stronger and stronger, almost blocking their way forward. Even if they continued at this time, it would only become more and more difficult, extremely inefficient, and a waste of energy. He immediately ordered everyone to find a mountain range to take shelter from the wind and rest until tomorrow morning. Otherwise, moving forward in the wind and waves would be like trying to put out a cart of firewood with a cup of water. It's on that mountain. Little Chenzi, let's go. De Huang and Jiang Chen looked at each other and hit it off. Improving their strength was too difficult, especially now. Who knew how long it would take for them to break through to the star level? If De Huang hadn't found a true heavenly treasure, he would never risk his life to search for it. The two went straight to the top ahead. De Huang pointed in the direction, and Jiang Chen was very curious. Little Chenzi, look, there are two big holes on that mountain. I guarantee that the treasure is right there. De Huang squinted his eyes. The closer they got, the more intense the stimulation he felt. This treasure was definitely the essence of the sun and moon. Jiang Chen fixed his eyes on it. There were indeed 2 big holes. They were black, round, and about 6 meters in diameter. De Huang signaled Jiang Chen with his eyes. You go to the top one, I'll go to the bottom one. Little Chenzi, don't let the treasure escape. De Huang rubbed his hands. He was very excited. All right. Jiang Chen smiled faintly. He couldn't hide the excitement in his heart. It was only now that he felt this overbearing and terrifying aura. It made him excited. It was obvious that this treasure was hidden very deeply. It was hard to imagine. If it wasn't for De Huang's powerful detection ability, they wouldn't have been able to find this place. Jiang Chen finally believed De Huang's words. The treasure here was definitely extraordinary. Heavenly treasures belonged to the virtuous. It seemed that they would definitely have a big harvest this time. Jiang Chen and De Huang quickly rushed into the 2 round holes. Jiang Chen walked nearly 100 meters before he found a yellow egg in the depths of the cave. It was a little too perfunctory to call it an egg because it was too big. Even 2 adults wouldn't be able to protect it. Jiang Chen wasn't surprised to see such a big egg. There were all kinds of strange things in the boundless world. It wasn't strange for a powerful demonic beast to lay such a big egg. However, the terrifying Genesis chi of the egg made Jiang Chen feel a little suffocated. Gathering the essence of the sun and moon, this guy would most likely have the strength of the star level when it was born, right? Damn it, I've really struck it rich this time. A terrifying light bloomed in Jiang Chen's eyes, and he was almost drooling. He hadn't been so excited in a long time. Jiang Chen didn't have time to think. He quickly kept the egg and ran out. Wasn't staying here courting death? If the owner of the egg came back, it wouldn't be so easy for him to come out. When Jiang Chen came out, De Huang was already at the entrance of the cave. The 2 looked at each other, and the smile on their faces became more and more excited. I found an egg, a very big and terrifying egg. Little Chenzi, what did you find? The same. Let's leave this place quickly. I feel that it's very dangerous here. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice, unable to hide the excitement in his eyes. De Huang nodded. This was simply too wonderful. This egg would definitely greatly improve his strength, and this egg had the most terrifying energy he had ever seen. De Huang was also a little excited, chattering non-stop along the way. When Jiang Chen returned, the sky was already bright. Although he found the horsemen, he found that the mountain behind the horsemen was gone. They were all cultivating on the surface of the water, and the mountain that had sheltered them last night had disappeared without a trace. What's going on? Jiang Chen was perplexed. Could it be that the mountains here were all moving? It's daybreak. Get ready to set off. Jiang Chen shouted in a low voice. Everyone woke up from their deep slumber and prepared to set off at any time. But at this moment, many of them realized a problem. Why did the mountain behind them disappear? Strange, why did the mountain that sheltered us yesterday disappear? Yeah, how did we drift to the river? It's really strange. This water curtain mountain seems to be getting more and more strange. Commander Jiang, what do you think? Many people looked grim, afraid that danger would come again. Even Commander Nye had been killed. How could they not be worried? Leaving this place as soon as possible is the most important thing, Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. Chen Wanshan and Nye Yunfeng were already dead, and Big Yellow had been found. So there was no need for them to take the risk here. Wouldn't it be foolish of them to not leave after obtaining the treasure? Everyone was very obedient. The pressure brought to them by the water curtain mountain was too great. The death of Commander Nye and hundreds of horsemen was the greatest pressure. Chapter 4865. Is it an array formation? It doesn't look like it. De Huang rested his chin on his hand, feeling very puzzled. Jiang Chen couldn't see through it either. If it was an array formation, how could both of them not see through it? If it wasn't an array formation, why couldn't they get out of this circle? They kept running into the surrounding 6 mountains. Even the mountain where they had dug out its eggs was in the list. This made everyone anxious and uneasy. Boom! Boom boom boom. At this moment, a huge wave of water rose a few hundred meters in front of them. It covered the sun and the sky, blocking their vision and the sunlight from the sky. The waves kept rippling, reaching tens of thousands of feet into the sky. Jiang Chen's facial expression changed completely. Did they really encounter a terrifying great demon? What's going on? Is it the great demon of Mount Water Curtain? Are we all going to die here? What a terrifying wave! It must be an almighty being to be able to set off such a huge wave. It's impossible to do this without the power of a star. Our sky has already darkened. Damn it! This Mount Water Curtain is too terrifying. What kind of monster is stirring up trouble here? Fear kept growing in everyone's hearts. Were they really going to be buried here? I'm afraid we've really encountered a great demon. Luo Ying's voice was a little hoarse, and her expression changed slightly. Go, go! Jiang Chen shouted in a deep voice. All of them unleashed all of their abilities and kept retreating. In order to avoid these 10,000-meter-tall waves, they had no other way out. However, this wave was too huge. The moment it fell, it hit Jiang Chen and the hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse. Almost one-third of them were overturned and suffered significant injuries. This scene shocked everyone, and their expressions changed. The Grim Reaper seemed to have really arrived. Jiang Chen and the others opened their eyes. The moment they looked up at the sky, the 6 mountains kept rising and piercing the clouds. Oh my God, are these demon beasts? F***CK. This. What should we do? Peerless great demon, we no longer have a path of retreat. They were not cowards. If even the horsemen of the apocalypse were helpless, not many people could do it, right? No one could see the top of this peerless greater demon's head, but they could see his true appearance as he rose from the water's surface. Just his back alone was tens of thousands of meters tall, comparable to a mountain. His form was so enormous that it left everyone gasping in amazement. The 6 mountains were all his back. Jiang Chen and De Huang looked at each other and sucked in a breath of cold air. They clenched their fists and felt uneasy. They were no match for this big guy. Its terrifying aura had completely surpassed the stellar level. Jiang Chen knew that even his monster army would not be able to deal with this big guy. Mother Fasterous Cur. Isn't this bullying? How did you grow so big? The corner of De Huang's mouth twitched slightly. He felt unwell. This big fellow could swallow all of them into its stomach in one gulp. What kind of monster was this? Great demon, our time of death has come. Why is it me? Sigh, we no longer have a path of retreat. We can only wait for death now. I've never heard of such a greater demon. Water Curtain Mountain is simply hell on earth. Everyone was in despair. As the peerless greater demon emerged from the water's surface, a total of 3 waves were set off. Each wave was thousands of meters tall. Jiang Chen and the others were completely hit by the huge waves 3 times. Some of the relatively weaker horsemen of the apocalypse were already somewhat unable to bear it. It's him. This is impossible. Impossible. Luo Ying murmured, her beautiful face turning pale with fright. Luo Ying murmured. She was so scared that her face turned pale. What kind of monster is he? Jiang Chen looked at Luo Ying, already burning with anxiety. 6-ridged coiling dragon. I've only seen records of him in an ancient scroll that recorded ancient secrets. His back is like a mountain, and he has 6 ridges, like a dragon or a tiger. It's called the 6-ridged coiling dragon. Luo Ying covered her mouth. She knew that there was really no chance this time. Death filled everyone's hearts. 6-ridged coiling dragon. Jiang Chen's heart trembled slightly. Why was this guy attacking them? Why couldn't they escape from here? That big guy is coming. It's coming. Roars rang out as the 6-ridged coiling dragon swept its claws and crushed them down. The void seemed to tremble as it heavily hit the river surface. Jiang Chen and the others were instantly blasted back. The attack did not even land on them. Just the aftermath of the heavy hit on the river surface almost killed them. This was completely invincible. The 6-ridged coiling dragon was a peerless greater demon that only existed in legends. It was an existence that outsiders did not know about at all. In Water Curtain Mountain, it was insignificant to outsiders. However, today, it filled hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse with despair. Everyone scattered like birds and beasts, completely losing the demeanor of a horseman of the apocalypse. It was no wonder that they were like this because the opponent was too strong. He was a proper star-level powerhouse. They had no room to fight back at all, So how could they fight? Hundreds of peak star emperors and even half-step star-level knights could not cause the slightest damage to this behemoth. This powerhouse was so powerful that they could not reach it at all. In their eyes, the six-ridged coiling dragon was a godlike existence. They were powerless and could only flee in all directions. However, no matter what, they could not escape from this vortex. The huge waves around them came one after another, and they could not escape at all. The horsemen used all kinds of methods to escape, but it was useless. The vortex and the huge waves became their biggest obstacle. No one could escape. Little Xueqi, what should we do? I'm afraid we've really encountered a tough opponent this time, Big Yellow said in a deep voice. This was a stellar-level great demon. Could they defeat it? The answer was obviously no. They did not even have the capital to escape now. Despicable humans. How dare you covet my things? Dang! In the sky, the six-ridged coiling dragon's deep voice continued to fall. It was deafening and made people's scalps tingle. Jiang Chen's heart stirred. Could it be that he and De Huang had taken the egg? De Huang seemed to realize that something was wrong, but he did not feel the slightest bit guilty. Who wouldn't take such a treasure? Moreover, the six-ridged coiling dragon might not have flown into a rage because they had taken the egg. However, no one cared about this at this time. They were only thinking about how to escape. The horsemen of the apocalypse were utterly defeated at this moment. Resist the huge waves. We still have a chance of survival. Don't panic. Chapter 4866. Hundreds of people joined together at this moment. In the end, they were horsemen of the apocalypse, so Jiang Chen was quite gratified. With so many horsemen, they were indeed a considerable force. However, the strength of the six-ridged coiling dragon had clearly exceeded their expectations. The six-ridged coiling dragon struck out with its claws, and its branches crushed down like two five-fingered mountains descending from the sky. The hundreds of horsemen were completely dumbfounded. Their defenses were directly broken, and they could not fight back at all. In front of the six-ridged coiling dragon, they were as weak as paper and could not withstand a single blow. Their first attempt had ended in failure, which increased their despair once again. Dozens of people had died under this heavy attack. The six-ridged coiling dragon was unparalleled. Jiang Chen's face was also full of shock as he spat out a mouthful of blood. It was no longer realistic for him to escape this place. This guy was so powerful that one could not find any weakness. De Huang, Luo Ying, and Tong Ling were already pale. At this time, they had no strength to fight back at all. If this continued, they would definitely become wronged ghosts under the Water Curtain Mountain. It was not that they did not work hard, nor was it that they wanted to die, but that they had no strength to resist at all. This heavy blow smashed into the water, and dozens of people died. Now, there were only about 400 people left. There was only fear in everyone's eyes. A defeated army was like a landslide. This was no longer a matter of courage. No matter how great one's courage was, what was the use of being instantly killed by the enemy in one move? The number of people who were fleeing was innumerable. However, the countless huge waves were mountains that they could not cross, a chasm that they could not cross. Sorrowful cries and wails filled Jiang Chen's ears. There was nothing they could do to save the situation. They could only run for their lives. It's easy to obtain 1,000 taels of gold, but it's hard to find a bosom friend. I have no regrets in this life to be able to die with you. Luo Ying's expression was calm as she smiled. Her mother had already gotten better, and her life had just begun to have color, but she had fallen deep into this. However, she had Jiang Chen by her side, so even if she died, there was nothing to be afraid of. You may want to die, but I don't. Jiang Chen bitterly smiled and rolled his eyes. He really wasn't willing to die here. He had too many things to do, and he couldn't die on the Heaven-Awakened planet. That's where you're wrong, little Xueqi. Don't you know how to be tender to a lady? Shouldn't you be more affectionate in such a situation? De Huang said with a smile. Even if he was facing a great enemy and death was imminent, he didn't have any fear. With Jiang Chen and his brothers here, he had no fear. F***ck off. Jiang Chen angrily roared. He turned to look at the six-ridged coiling dragon and unleashed another savage attack. The power of one claw tore through the air. Jiang Chen raised his sword, and his sword energy was like frost. He wanted to resist the six-ridged coiling dragon, but in the end, he was slapped into the water. Only now did he realize how laughable his strength was in front of the six-ridged coiling dragon. This was the first time Jiang Chen had suffered such a powerful blow, and he had been defeated without any suspense. He had been mentally prepared, but he hadn't expected it to be so tragic. It was like an ant trying to shake a tree. Hearing the wails around him, Jiang Chen felt a headache coming on. It was simply unrealistic for him to escape without defeating the six-ridged coiling dragon. That's right. Big Dipper Magic Defense Formation. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. With so many horsemen of the apocalypse, they could help him form a formation. With De Huang by his side, once the formation was formed, they might be able to block the six-ridged coiling dragon's attack if they joined forces. However, could these hundreds of people really form the Big Dipper Magic Defense Formation? Jiang Chen didn't dare to believe it, let alone be sure, but this was his only chance. De Huang, help me set up the formation. We still have one last attack, the Big Dipper Magic Defense Formation. If this formation can't stop the six-ridged coiling dragon, then perhaps we really will have to wait for death. Jiang Chen said without hesitation, his eyes extremely solemn. Okay, tell me to go east, and I won't go west. De Huang said firmly. He supported Jiang Chen and would advance and retreat with him. No one understood Jiang Chen better than him. Everyone, I still have one last plan. Whether we can survive or not depends on everyone. As long as you are willing to follow me and set up the formation, there will be a chance of survival. Jiang Chen's roar reverberated across the river. The 400 horsemen looked at each other with incomparable relief in their eyes. Although it was only the last resort and there was only a slim chance of survival, it was better than waiting for death here, wasn't it? No one was a coward. They all had the same dream, to become horsemen of the apocalypse and fight for the apocalypse planet. We will listen to Commander Jiang's instructions. The hundreds of people said in unison, waiting for Jiang Chen's arrangements. They didn't want to die and wanted to leave this place alive. Even if they died, they shouldn't die in such a cowardly manner. Being killed by this peerless demon was too unfair to them. Okay, set up the formation and listen to my command. Big Dipper Demon Defense Formation. Jiang Chen shouted and began to set up the formation. But at this time, the six-ridged coiling dragon did not give them any chance. Not long after, another shocking claw set off countless layers of huge waves, and everyone quickly took shape. They were well-trained horsemen to begin with, so Jiang Chen's words were the best medicine for them. De Huang followed beside Jiang Chen and set up the formation with Jiang Chen. It was impossible for Jiang Chen to complete the Big Dipper Demon Defense Formation with hundreds of people by himself. The heavy burden on De Huang could not be underestimated. Jiang Chen pointed out the mountains and rivers, and the horsemen split into 8 directions. De Huang followed Jiang Chen again and again to stabilize the formation, striving to resist the six-ridged coiling dragon's attack. If the Big Dipper Demon Defense Formation failed again, they could only admit defeat. Jiang Chen used all his skills and acted as the formation eye with De Huang, stabilizing the hundreds of horsemen. The formation had just been formed, and it was facing the heavy attack of the six-ridged coiling dragon. Rumble! The six-ridged coiling dragon's giant claw pressed down on the Big Dipper Demon Defense Formation of Jiang Chen and the others, forcing them back dozens of steps. But at this time, a layer of golden light of the 8 trigrams appeared above the formation. It was a combination of the 36 Big Dipper and the Big Dipper. It was very powerful and actually blocked the six-ridged coiling dragon's attack. Everyone was incomparably excited and almost jumped up. Jiang Chen was too ferocious. This formation had given them hope of survival. What a great Heavenly Dipper Demon Defense Formation. These horsemen knew very well that their hope had come. Don't continue fighting. Retreat quickly. Jiang Chen's words woke them up from a dream, and they did not dare to continue fighting. If they could not block the next attack, they would still be killed by this peerless demon. Chapter 48-67. Quick, 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 quick. We're saved. Is it finally coming out? Be careful of the six-ridged coiling dragon. Countless people were terrified, and their bodies were trembling. The last attack was unleashed. The six spines coiling dragon soared into the sky and swung its tail, smashing onto the Big Dipper defensive formation. Jiang Chen and the hundreds of men were sent flying away. The formation had been destroyed, but they had already rushed out of the Water Curtain Mountain. Everyone dragged their injured bodies out of the Water Curtain Mountain. At this moment, the six-ridged coiling dragon didn't seem to have the intention to rush out of the water curtain mountain to chase after them. Roar, 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 a thunderous roar tore through everyone's eardrums, but the six-ridged coiling dragon turned around and left unwillingly. The water curtain mountain seemed to be its cage. No one knew whether it was because it couldn't leave the water curtain mountain or for some other reason. In short, they finally escaped from death this time. As the eyes of the formation, Jiang Chen and De Huang had mastered more attacks. If they hadn't left the water curtain mountain at the last moment, their formation wouldn't have been able to resist the peerless great demon. We're finally out. Jiang Chen's face was pale. He was sweating profusely and blood was flowing everywhere. He collapsed heavily on the ground with a trace of satisfaction in his eyes. It was a narrow escape from death. It was a close call. This time it was too close. We did it. We did it. Little Chunzi. Ha 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 ha. De Huang patted Jiang Chen's shoulder and said. At this time, they finally completed the counterattack and escaped. For anyone it was unimaginable. More than 400 people were finally saved. This was an unimaginable rescue operation. Jiang Chen's name was imprinted in everyone's heart at this moment. Because without Jiang Chen, they wouldn't have been able to leave the water curtain mountain alive. The death of Commander Nye and the appearance of the six-ridged coiling dragon made them tremble in fear. But in the end, Jiang Chen single-handedly turned the situation around. This was witnessed by everyone. Thank you, Commander Jiang, for saving our lives. We will forever be grateful and follow you until death. Waves of roars could be heard. Hundreds of people knelt down on one knee. All of them were filled with gratitude towards Jiang Chen. What could be greater than saving their lives? Nye Yunfeng and Chen Wanshan had become the past. No matter how they died, it had nothing to do with them. However, Jiang Chen had sincerely saved their lives. This was obvious to all, and no one could forget. A newly advanced knight, a young man who was half a step into the star level, had been entrusted with a mission in the face of danger, but he had pulled them, the old knights, back from the brink of death. This was an achievement that no one could erase. Jiang Chen felt the passion and gratitude of the horsemen of the apocalypse and felt quite gratified. Strength was what everyone expected. Jiang Chen was their savior. This time, Jiang Chen's name resounded like thunder in their ears, and they would never forget it. I didn't expect that even the six-ridged coiling dragon wouldn't be able to do anything to you. I've really underestimated you. Luo Ying's eyes were full of splendor as she looked at Jiang Chen. Her eyes were filled with gratification. Needless to say, Jiang Chen was a peerless expert that was one in a million. Tong Ling was no longer surprised by Jiang Chen's strength, but De Huang and Jiang Chen were fighting side by side and presiding over the array formation. This made her extremely excited, and she could not hide the admiration in her heart. Her love for him became even stronger. The horsemen of the apocalypse are facing internal and external troubles. Now is the time for manpower, so let's go back first. I'm quite sad that we lost Commander Chen and Commander Nye on this expedition. Jiang Chen's grief-stricken expression made all the horsemen sigh silently. It seemed that Commander Jiang was truly a sentimental person. He was affectionate and righteous, and he was more than enough to be their commander. Moreover, his strength was clearly more convincing than that of Commander Nye and Commander Chen. We will obey Commander's teachings. All the horsemen lined up and followed Jiang Chen back to the horsemen of the apocalypse. When Jiang Chen returned to the horsemen of the apocalypse, Yu Huan rushed up to him immediately. However, he did not expect that this team was actually led by Jiang Chen. What about Nye Yunfeng? It seems that you are quite proud of yourself, Yu Huan said with a cold smile. He stood in front of Jiang Chen, giving him tit for tat. He even had a bad premonition. Could it be that Nye Yunfeng had encountered some mishap? Could it be that Jiang Chen was behind this? I dare not. Commanders Chen Wanshan and Nye Yunfeng died on Water Curtain Mountain. I'm very sad, so how could I dare to feel proud of myself? Jiang Chen said Lung Lung. He did not care about Yu Huan at all. His goal was to find an opportunity to kill Yu Huan. What? You said that Chen Wanshan and Nye Yunfeng are both dead? Yu Huan glared at Jiang Chen said. They are indeed dead, and more than 100 horsemen of the apocalypse were lost. However, I did not kill them, so why are you yelling at me? A loser dares to speak so boldly? Jiang Chen sneered. Yu Huan's anger rose. This Jiang Chen was really becoming more and more arrogant. He originally wanted Nie Yunfeng to kill him, but he did not expect Nie Yunfeng to be killed in the end. Even Chen Wanshan and hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse were unlucky. Yu Huan's eyes narrowed, and his hatred for Jiang Chen deepened. As the acting captain, you failed to meet your standards and caused the horsemen of the apocalypse to lose more than 100 generals. Even commanders Nie Yunfeng and Chen Wanshan died with resentment. Do you know your crime? Commander Chen Wanshan and Commander Nie Yunfen must have been framed by you. Why didn't the two of them come? Why did you have to come? Yu Huan questioned Jiang Chen one after another. He naturally did not want to let Jiang Chen have an easy time. The two of them were already like fire and water, and it was difficult for them to get along. Are you here to denounce me? Jiang Chen said with a faint smile. I'm not denouncing you. I'm rewarding you according to your contributions. Unfortunately, you are not qualified, so you must be punished severely. Yu Huan's words were sharp, and he would not rest until Jiang Chen was dead. He's right. The deaths of Commander Nie and Commander Chen are very strange. But you just happened to come back, and you even lost 100 of my generals. We really should investigate this thoroughly. Guards, take him away first. We'll discuss this later. Anyone who disobeys will be executed immediately. Just as Yu Huan and Jiang Chen were at loggerheads, Zhang Tiance, the vice-captain of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, appeared, looking like he had everything planned out. As a stellar-level expert, the moment he appeared, he pressured Jiang Chen so much that he could not breathe. He deliberately released his aura to suppress Jiang Chen. Thank you, Captain Zhang, for upholding justice. The cause of Commander Nie and Commander Chen's death is unknown, and it is still unknown. Furthermore, there were such great losses. As the highest commander, Jiang Chen indeed deserves to be punished. In my opinion, he should be beheaded in public as a warning to others. If he dares to be negligent in the future, Jiang Chen will not be able to escape the blame for the deaths of my generals. Chapter 4868. That's right. We've just joined the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, yet we don't have any rules at all and even cause trouble everywhere. It looks like we should reconsider. Zhang Tiance's voice was deafening like a great bell. Commander Jiang is indeed our highest commander, but he only temporarily assumed the position of commander because we requested it. Moreover, it's not his fault that hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse died. It was Commander Nie who brought them out, and they met with mishaps. As for Commander Chen's death, Commander Jiang is not to be blamed. If it weren't for him, we would have died without a burial place. That's right. We encountered the six-ridged coiling dragon on Mount Water Curtain, and Commander Jiang led us out of danger by himself. Otherwise, we would have all been buried here. Vice Commander, please reconsider. Commander Jiang is a true pillar of the apocalypse, unparalleled in the entire Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Everyone pleaded. Zhang Tiance's expression was gloomy. When he heard about the six-ridged coiling dragon, his pupils constricted, and his expression changed slightly. Do you mean to say that even I am not worthy of standing on the right of a freshman? Humph. Our Horseman of the Apocalypse has always been fair in rewards and punishments. We will never hope for anyone, nor will we let anyone off. Zhang Tiance shouted sternly. Suddenly, everyone fell silent. Vice Commander Zhang was a stellar-level powerhouse. How could they dare disobey his orders? Chen Wanshan was a coward, and Nie Yunfeng fished for fame. What's there to lament about their deaths? Vice Commander Zhang is right. Our Horseman of the Apocalypse has always been fair in rewards and punishments. We will never let anyone who has harmed us off, nor will we let anyone suffer injustice. I only have one question for all of you. Commander Jiang, did he really save all of you by himself? At that moment, a middle-aged man in a white robe with his hands in his sleeves walked over with a smile. Greetings, Commander Zhua. Everyone bowed. At this time, Zhang Tiance's expression changed. What do you mean, Vice Commander Zhua? Could it be that I still wish for him to succeed? The deaths of Chen Wanshan and Nie Yunfeng are true, and it's also true that our Horsemen of the Apocalypse lost hundreds of generals. Don't tell me someone needs to bear this responsibility? Zhang Tiance said coldly. Although that's true, so many Horsemen of the Apocalypse don't dare to agree. I want to hear everyone's opinion. Do you think Jiang Chen should be punished? Zhualuan Hui said with a chuckle. When everyone saw Leader Zhua, they were instantly energized. Jiang Chen saving me is equivalent to putting me through fire and water. I will never give up on this great favor of life and death. We swear to follow Commander Jiang Chen to the death. We pledge our lives to follow Commander Jiang Chen. More than 400 horsemen of the apocalypse spoke in unison. At that moment, Zhang Tianze and Yu Huan's expressions did not look good. As the saying went, the law did not punish the masses. At this time, even 10 heavenly strategies could not make things difficult for Jiang Chen. Did you see that? This is the power of the masses. I don't know what method Jiang Chen used, nor do I know how charming he is to make more than 400 people trust him. Even Chen Wanshan and Ye Yunfeng couldn't do that. This is the talent that our horsemen of the apocalypse needs. This is a true commander. To be able to lead them to escape from the hands of the six-spine coiling dragon, you are really impressive. From now on, these 500 people will be under your command. You will be the deputy commander of the Kue Mu Alliance and take over from Ye Yunfeng. Don't let me down in the future. Xueqi Hui nodded slightly and looked at Jiang Chen with a kind smile. This is the will of the 3 deputy commanders of the horsemen of the apocalypse. Commander Xueqi Hui. It seems that Commander Zhua thinks very highly of you. Luo Ying whispered in Jiang Chen's ear. Thank you, Commander Zhua. Jiang Chen will definitely make contributions to the horsemen of the apocalypse and protect the apocalypse planet. He is duty-bound. Jiang Chen nodded with a smile. Good. The younger generation will surpass us in time. Ha ha ha. Commander Zhang. Do you want to have a drink with me? Xueqi Hui's appearance made Zhang Tiance very passive and embarrassed. Needless to say, Yu Huan directly turned around and left with Zhang Tiance. Commander Zhua and Commander Zhang usually don't get along, but his words are still effective. He appointed a deputy commander who is not in China. However, Commander Zhua usually doesn't care much about the horsemen of the apocalypse. Since he can help you this time, it shows that he still values you very much. Luo Ying said. I hope so. It seems that this deputy commander Zhang has a problem with me. Jiang Chen murmured. Yu Huan was Zhang Tiance's man, and Ye Yunfeng was also very close. This person died outside, but he came back safe and sound. He even defeated Yu Huan before. It seemed that Zhang Tiance wanted to make a move on him. You don't have to worry about this for the time being. With commanders were personally appointing you, even if Zhang Tiance wants to make a move on you, he will definitely have to ask for commanders was face. As for Yu Huan, you have to be careful. God knows if this guy will do something desperate. Luo Ying couldn't help but worry for Jiang Chen. After all, Jiang Chen had just entered the horsemen of the apocalypse, but Yu Huan was Deputy Commander Zhang's man and was a veteran here. Even if something happened in the horsemen of the apocalypse, no one would be surprised. However, after Jiang Chen returned this time, he was personally appointed by Xueqi Hui as the deputy commander, which shocked many people. The more than 400 horsemen of the apocalypse were extremely respectful to Jiang Chen, because they had all been saved by Jiang Chen. At this time, they would definitely not ignore Jiang Chen's safety. Brothers, go back and rest first. After all, this battle has been going on for a long time, and everyone must be exhausted. Your health is more important. Jiang Chen waved his hand, and everyone's eyes lit up. Commander Jiang was really considerate of them. Following Jiang Chen out of Mount Water Curtain was definitely the most important experience in their lives. Jiang Chen thought about it for a long time. Yu Huan wanted to kill him, so how could he not want to kill him? Only by killing Yu Huan could De Huang walk out openly. Otherwise, he would have to stay in the Buddha prison pagoda forever. After all, in the entire horsemen of the apocalypse, only Yu Huan had seen De Huang's human identity. You should also quickly go back and see your mother. If there's anything, come to me at any time. I may need to cultivate for a while. Jiang Chen glanced at Luo Ying. Luo Ying was definitely worried about her mother. Although her condition had improved, she had not completely recovered. Luo Ying bid farewell to Jiang Chen, but after this battle, Jiang Chen's position in her heart had become even more important. Chapter 4869. After leaving the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Jiang Chen went straight to the Galaxy Auction House in the city. When Sun Dashing saw Jiang Chen coming, his face was full of smiles. He led him into the inner hall and served him some fragrant tea. May I know why you're here today, sir? Sun Dashing said with a smile. I'm here to see young Master Lu. Is the eldest young master here? Jiang Chen took a sip of tea and said in a low voice. Yes. Sir. Please wait a moment. I'll go and invite the eldest young master. Not long after, Sun Dashing came to find Lu Dehua. Lu Dehua sent Sun Dashing away and was very excited to see Jiang Chen. Ha ha ha, brother Jiang. I haven't seen you for a long time. I've missed you so much. Now, I should call you Commander Jiang, right? Lu Dehua's eyes were full of envy and even admiration. It seems that you're well informed, Jiang Chen said non-committally. In this heavenly awakening Milky Way city, if I'm not well informed, how can I do business? Ha ha ha, brother Jiang. I'm afraid you came to find me for something, right? Lu Dehua smiled. He was happy that Jiang Chen came to find him. He was most afraid that he couldn't help Jiang Chen. If that happened, Lu Dehua would be in a very passive position. Especially when it came to favors, they had to be reciprocated. Lu Dehua had taken care of Jiang Chen before, and Jiang Chen naturally wouldn't be ungrateful. Lu Dehua believed that he had always been very accurate in judging people. Indeed, I need a pill recipe. I don't know if Brother Lu can find it. Jiang Chen said bluntly. Brother Jiang, just say it. As long as I can get it, I won't let you down. Lu Dehua also patted his chest and said, Okay, then I won't be polite. I believe the Galaxy Auction House will definitely not let me down. Jiang Chen's smile gradually rose. What I'm looking for is an elixir recipe that can allow one to break through to the star level. I wonder if Brother Lu will find it difficult? Lu Dehua sucked in a breath of cold air and looked at Jiang Chen in disbelief. His heart was in turmoil. Jiang Chen's strength had just broken through and reached the half-step star level. This was already very shocking to him. Now, he actually wanted to find a pill to break through to the star level. This guy's appetite was really big. Forgive my bluntness, Brother Jiang. Your talent is definitely 1 in a million. I firmly believe that. However, after this battle, you've just broken through from the peak of the Star Emperor realm to the first level of the star transformation. You'll have to go through 3 levels of the star transformation to break through to the star level. I'm afraid that even an unparalleled genius would need 100 years to accomplish this. And to tell you the truth, after 3 levels of the star transformation, if you can't break through to the star level, then all your efforts will be in vain. Your strength will fall, and the star core in your body will not be able to condense, and you will never have the chance to transform. Do you know that in the inner city, many knights of the apocalypse have failed to break through to the star level? Their strength will forever stay at the 3rd level of the star transformation, which is the so-called first person below the star level. However, they will also forever lose the chance to break through. So, without more than 80% confidence, almost no one will be willing to try. The reason why star-level powerhouses are so strong and so rare is because of this. Once they break through to the star level, they can do whatever they want in the entire star field. Therefore, there are many people who are half a step into the star level, but those who have truly broken through to the star level are all monstrous. I don't have any other intentions in saying this. I just want you to think carefully before you act. You're only at the 1st level of the star transformation. For now, I don't recommend you to use elixirs to complete your breakthrough. Instead, you should move steadily and surely. To be honest, Brother Jiang, I feel that your future city is immeasurable, so you must not advance rashly. These are all my priceless advice. I hope that Brother Jiang will consider it carefully before making a decision. Lu Dehua's earnest advice made Jiang Chen quite grateful. However, he still had to ask for the elixir recipe. He didn't have that much time to wait. 100 years was not a short period of time. As long as he broke through 1 day earlier, he would have the opportunity to look for Feng, and the danger to Feng, would be reduced. Even if it was to spoil a seedling to help it grow, Jiang Chen had to break through as soon as possible. There's only one chance to break through to the star level through the 3rd level of the star transformation? Seems like I still can't let my guard down. However, I still want to ask, Brother Lu, I wonder if you can get this elixir for breaking through to the star level. Jiang Chen will be eternally grateful. Jiang Chen cupped his fists and said, Sigh, this elixir recipe does exist, but it's a top-secret treasure of my Star River auction house. In the past 10,000 years, I've never heard of anyone being able to refine it. Even if I give it to you, you might not be able to do it. It's said that even a star-level alchemist failed to refine it. Lu Dehua said helplessly. In that case, you do have the elixir recipe? Jiang Chen's eyes lit up, filled with joy. After all, this belongs to my Star River auction house. I have to be responsible for my Star River auction house. Brother Jiang, I hope you can understand. I only have one request. If you are able to concoct this pill, you must give one to my Star River auction house. If you can't, then consider it as me doing you a favor. However, this pill formula cannot be leaked out. I hope Brother Jiang will agree to this. Lu Dehua said seriously. After all, the Star River auction house didn't belong to him alone. It could be said that it was a huge business that concerned the entire Heaven Awakening star region. Of course, if I succeed, I definitely won't let the Star River auction house lose everything. Haha. Jiang Chen thanked him profusely and nodded. Lu Dehua's advice came from the bottom of his heart. However, if he could really refine this elixir, breaking through to the star level would be just around the corner. In that case, I won't force you. Brother Jiang, please wait a moment. I'll go get the elixir recipe for you now. After Lu Dehua finished speaking, he turned and left. A moment later, he returned with a jade slip in his hand and handed it to Jiang Chen. His expression was extremely solemn. Brother Jiang, this is the elixir recipe for the 5-barrier pill. Even my Star River auction house doesn't have a single 5-barrier pill. Okay, I hope I won't let Brother Lu down. After thanking Lu Dehua, Jiang Chen left the Star River auction house and returned to the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. As a deputy commander, Jiang Chen was assigned a residence on a mountain peak. The Horsemen of the Apocalypse had tens of thousands of knights, but the Horsemen of the Apocalypse had vast territory and abundant resources. Everything within a radius of dozens of miles was their territory, and there were many mountain residences for cultivation. Ordinary Horsemen of the Apocalypse naturally lived in places with the weakest Genesis Qi. For officers like Jiang Chen, the cultivation residences arranged for them were more spacious and had richer spiritual qi. Jiang Chen unfolded the jade slip, and his mind trembled. The 5-barrier pill had the effect of breaking through layers of barriers. It was an excellent elixir for breaking through to the star level. There weren't many things needed, only 5, but they made Jiang Chen's scalp tingle. Rootless water, rootless wind, rootless fire, rootless vine, and rootless flower. Only these 5 things could be used to refine the 5-barrier pill. The rootless wind could be replaced by the eternal immortal wind, and Jiang Chen also had the rootless fire. Any of the 5 elemental divine fires could be used, but where could he find the rootless water, rootless vine, and rootless flower? Chapter 4870. Damn it, it's the Water Curtain Mountain again. I just got out of that damned place. Jiang Chen was a little depressed. He almost died there, and now he had to go to the Water Curtain Mountain to look for the rootless water, rootless vines, and rootless flowers. Wasn't that courting death? If he encountered the 6-back coiled dragon again, he might not be so lucky this time. Jiang Chen felt a headache coming on. Forget it, I'll eat the egg first. It's more important to improve my strength first. Jiang Chen took out the 6-back coiled dragon's egg. This guy's energy was extraordinary. Whether Jiang Chen could break through all depended on this egg. The reason why Jiang Chen was able to escape from the Water Curtain Mountain was all because of this egg. Jiang Chen naturally cherished it. Now that he was already a half-step star-grade expert, breaking through to the star-grade seemed easy. But in fact, it was still very far away. Even Lu Dehua had said that if he tried to break through by force, or even concocting pills, all his efforts would be in vain. Therefore, Jiang Chen decided to play it safe first. After entering the Buddha prison palace, Jiang Chen ordered the Black King to guard him. On the other hand, if Jiang Chen ate the dragon egg alone, he would lose a lot of Genesis Qi. Letting the Black King absorb the Genesis Qi around him was enough to improve his strength. Little Chenzi, I've absorbed about 70%. Kakik, I'm afraid I'll fall behind you this time. Once I break through, I'll be able to reach the 3rd level of the half-step star state, star transformation. De Huang was still cultivating, but when he saw Jiang Chen enter the Buddha prison palace, he couldn't help but tease him. It seems that this dragon egg has brought you a lot of benefits. Jiang Chen smiled. If De Huang could reach the 3rd level of the star transformation, it would be a good thing for him. Even if he was still some distance away from the true star state, at least he saw some hope. You're going to fall behind me again, Kakik. After saying that, De Huang began to cultivate. Jiang Chen tightly gripped the dragon egg with both hands as he took in a deep breath. His expression was solemn as the Genesis chi in his body continuously surged, beginning to intertwine with the dragon egg. Time passed second by second. Even Jiang Chen did not expect him to devour the dragon egg so quickly. In less than half a day, he had already devoured more than half of it. The Genesis chi in the dragon egg had almost perfectly fused with him, without the slightest bit of rejection. This was because Jiang Chen now had a true dragon body, so it was no problem for him to absorb the dragon egg's Genesis chi. Jiang Chen felt as if he was melting into water without any resistance. After another 4 hours, Jiang Chen had completely absorbed the 6-spine coiling dragon's egg. His strength had also reached the second level of the star transformation. Even Black King, who was absorbing the leftovers from the dragon egg that Jiang Chen had devoured, had also reached the third level of the star transformation. Jiang Chen felt that his strength had greatly improved again. The yuan qi in his body continued to gather and disperse, becoming more condensed. Once it had completely fused and formed a star, it would be time for a breakthrough. Jiang Chen was now confident that he could finish off a third-level star transformation expert within 10 moves. If it was Yu Huan, a single punch would be enough. As for a true star transformation expert, Jiang Chen did not know how strong they were, but he was unlikely to be a match for them. However, if he wanted to escape, it would not be so easy for his opponent to catch him. When Jiang Chen finished his cultivation, he found that De Huang was almost done devouring. Kikik, little Chenzi, you're definitely not as fast as me. This time F*CKU. You actually absorbed all of the dragon eggs? F*CK. The heavens are unfair. No, I'm going to use you to practice. Come. De Huang's expression was very ugly. He originally thought that he could surpass Jiang Chen, but this guy's speed of absorbing the dragon egg was simply too shocking. Right now, I'm at the third level of the star transformation, and you're at the second level. If I don't teach you a lesson now, I won't have another chance in the future. De Huang was eager to try. Come as you wish. Battle intent flashed in Jiang Chen's eyes. He also wanted to properly test his strength, and De Huang had delivered himself to his doorstep. De Huang was the first to attack. His strength was unparalleled, and even Black King repeatedly praised him, feeling inferior. However, he was even more shocked when he saw Jiang Chen attack. Jiang Chen's strength completely crushed De Huang's. Although De Huang was stronger, Jiang Chen's foundation was stronger, and his Genesis Chi was more tyrannical and condensed. After 10 moves, De Huang was chased by Jiang Chen and hit from behind. A bitter expression appeared on De Huang's face as he cursed. Little Chenzi, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person. Taking advantage of the situation to avenge your personal grudge. Forget it. Master Dog won't lower himself to your level. Big Yellow said with a gloomy face. Jiang Chen hadn't even used his dragon transformation yet, but he was already at his limit. Jiang Chen's Genesis Chi wasn't on the same level as his. It was at least 10 times more powerful than his. You win this time, but it's not a glorious win. You already have the body of a true dragon, so you naturally absorb the 6-spine coiled dragon's egg faster and better than me. De Huang was still looking for excuses for himself. He snorted coldly and refused to admit defeat. Jiang Chen was too lazy to argue with him. By the way, little Chenzi, you should quickly get rid of that commander you. I'm going to grow hairs if I stay here for too long. Master Dog doesn't want to spend the rest of my life alone in this Buddha prison tower. My little sister is waiting for me outside. De Huang said, shaking his head. Don't worry. I'll do it as soon as possible. It's better not to do things like trampling on innocent women. Jiang Chen rolled his eyes at De Huang. TSK, this is called charm. Master Dog is about to reach the pinnacle of life. Don't hold me back. Get lost. Jiang Chen kicked De Huang's butt and left the Buddha prison tower. The next day, the horn was blown to signal the assembly of the Apocalypse Cavalry. 5,000 of them gathered in one place. Zhang Tiance personally instructed them. All of them looked very nervous. Jiang Chen stood in the middle of the group of commanders. There were a total of 10 vice-commanders and 2 commanders. All of them stood behind Zhang Tiance. What's going on? Commander Zhang has summoned us. Something big must have happened, right? Who knows? But looking at Commander Zhang's anxious look, it shouldn't be a simple matter. It seems like a great demon escaped from the 100 Ghost Bamboo Forest. I heard there are traces of it. Is that true? Looks like there's going to be a big mobilization this time. Everyone looked at each other and whispered. Silence. Yu Huan shouted in a low voice and stood beside Zhang Tian's. He was indeed a close lackey. His flattering look made Jiang Chen feel very uncomfortable. Thousands of Apocalypse Knights stood in formation, waiting for Zhang Tian's instructions. Recently, the great demons of the Heaven-Awakened Silver River City have been running amok. As the protectors of the Heaven-Awakened Silver River City, we are naturally responsible. Now that we have discovered a great demon that escaped from the 100 Ghosts bamboo forest, we have to kill it to prevent it from harming the world. This time, I will personally lead the team. Deputy Commander Zhang was leading the team personally. Everyone was excited. They were a little nervous about a dangerous place like the Water Screen Mountain. However, since Deputy Commander Zhang was leading the team personally, this battle would be much easier. Jiang Chen, you've been to the Water Screen Mountain before and made a great contribution. This time, you'll be the vanguard. I believe that you won't let down the position of Vice Commander in this battle of bravery. Chapter 4871. Vanguard. Jiang Chen sneered in his heart. Wasn't it just risking his life? However, Jiang Chen couldn't refuse. After all, this was an order from the regiment commander. He could only nod in response. Good. For my Heaven-Awakening Galaxy City, protect this piece of pure land. I will lead the charge. Let's go. Zhang Tian said in a deep voice. He commanded the 3 troops to set off once again towards the Water Curtain Mountain. Jiang Chen didn't know if this news was good or bad. The great demon that escaped from the 100 Ghosts bamboo forest rushed into the Water Curtain Mountain, and the materials needed to refine the 5-barrier pill were also in the Water Curtain Mountain. To him, if he could find the materials to refine the 5-barrier pill, he would be very lucky. However, if he couldn't, he might lose his life here. This Zhang Tian's wanted him to be the vanguard. His purpose was to suppress him, weaken him, and even kill him. Yu Huan's lips curled into a cold smile. He was very satisfied with Zhang Tian's arrangement. It was as if he was telling Jiang Chen that his time of death had come. Jiang Chen had no choice but to go forward despite knowing that there was a tiger on the mountain. However, he couldn't disobey a military order. Moreover, this trip to the Water Curtain Mountain was imperative. At the foot of the Water Curtain Mountain, in front of the tent of the 3 troops, they set up camp. It was already dusk. In Zhang Tian's tent, a man in a blue robe appeared. He was shrouded in darkness. My master has ordered me to fully cooperate with Vice Regiment Commander Zhang to kill someone. The blue-robed man said in a low voice. Who? Zhang Tian's frowned. Jiang Chen. His corpse, his storage ring, everything. My master said that as long as Vice Regiment Commander Zhang handles this matter well, you can raise any conditions. The blue-robed man said. Zhang Tian's breathing stagnated, his expression becoming more and more solemn. He knew that Jiang Chen probably had everything that person wanted. If he could raise any conditions, it meant that the things on Jiang Chen were too important to Mr. I will definitely do my best to help Mr. Zhang Tian's thought for a moment and said solemnly. I thank Vice Regiment Commander Zhang on behalf of Mr. The blue-robed man bowed slightly and walked out of the tent. His figure was like a shuttle, and his footsteps were like the wind, disappearing into the sunset. The night passed uneventfully. Early the next morning, Zhang Tian's commanded the 3 armies to attack the Water Curtain Mountain, searching for the great devil that had escaped from the 100 Ghosts bamboo forest. Jiang Chen, you'll be the vanguard. Lead your 400 men and investigate the enemy. Zhang Tian said in a deep voice. Understood. Jiang Chen hated Zhang Tian's to the core. However, there was nothing he could do at this time. After all, the hard, tiring and dangerous work were all done by the vanguard. Jiang Chen led more than 400 people and quickly charged forward. However, at this time, he discovered that Luo Ying had not come. She had disappeared without a trace. He asked Tong Ling, but she also did not know anything. By the way, Jiang Chen, what about De Huang? Tong Ling asked in a low voice with a hint of shyness at the corner of her mouth. Don't worry. As long as Yu Huan is not here, he can come out. Look, isn't he right beside you? With a thought, Jiang Chen opened the Buddha Prison Pagoda, and De Huang directly appeared beside Tong Ling. Tong Ling's face changed drastically, and she could not stop blushing. Miss, are you looking for me? Big Yellow said in a serious manner. Tong Ling lowered her head and did not dare to speak at all. Jiang Chen smiled and could not be bothered to tease the two of them. He quickly led the troops forward, continuously advancing into the depths of the Water Curtain Mountain. Jiang Chen constantly prayed in his heart, hoping that he would not encounter the six-spine coiling dragon this time. Otherwise, it would be another bloody battle. In half a day, Jiang Chen and the others had already entered hundreds of miles into the Water Curtain Mountain. There were scouts constantly reporting military intelligence. The journey was rather boring, and they did not encounter any powerful demonic beasts. How boring! Is the vanguard so relaxed? De Huang was bored to death. However, as soon as De Huang's voice fell, a huge vortex appeared in front of them. Black shadows kept darting out of the vortex. They looked like zebras, black and white, but there were very few white patterns. They had hands behind their backs, which was very strange. Jiang Chen had never seen such a thing before. These are the Sky Meng unique to the Water Curtain Mountain. They are very powerful. It seems that all of them have half-step star-state combat power, and their leader is even stronger. Yes, Commander Jiang. Let's retreat quickly. There are hundreds of Sky Meng. Even if we fight them, we will definitely suffer heavy losses. The outcome of the battle is still unknown. That's right. There is no need for us to clash with them. After we meet up with the main force, they will definitely not dare to do anything to us. Many people tried to dissuade Jiang Chen. There is indeed no need for us to fight them. Jiang Chen nodded. It wasn't that he was timid. These Sky Meng were unique to the Water Curtain Mountain, and there were quite a lot of them. They did not come for this, so they naturally did not want to clash with them. Retreat slowly, Jiang Chen ordered. However, at this moment, a person rushed out and shot a spear toward the group of Sky Meng, immediately angering them. The hundreds of Sky Meng also noticed Jiang Chen and the hundreds of humans. The so-called vanguard must open a path in mountains and build a bridge in rivers. How dare we retreat? Kill! The horsemen of the apocalypse shouted angrily, standing not far from Jiang Chen. Many people wanted to slap him. Wasn't he just looking for trouble? Sun Qi, aren't you under Yu Huan's command? Why are you in our team? Aren't you courting death? Someone shouted angrily. Jiang Chen's face was gloomy. At this moment, he already understood that this person was a spy. Wasn't it clear that he wanted him to open a path? Moreover, there was clearly no need to fight, but he still wanted to stir up trouble. Who could stand it? Wasn't this an unnecessary sacrifice? He was purposely stirring up a conflict. This was the only way for Jiang Chen's vanguard to do what he was supposed to do, suppress Jiang Chen, and stop at nothing. His goal was naturally to kill him. Bastard, Sun Qi, you're courting death. Damn it, I'll kill you. F***CK. Aren't you the black sheep of the herd? You've caused trouble for everyone. Everyone blamed Sun Qi. After all, he was not an old subordinate of their team. Jiang Chen already knew about the people under Yu Huan's command. In front of a great enemy, the vanguard's job is to clear the obstacles, but you're afraid of the slightest thing. There are no cowards in the horsemen of the apocalypse. You're simply too disappointing. Jiang Chen, you deserve to be punished. Sun Qi was not afraid at all. He was Yu Huan's man and Deputy Commander Zhang's man. How could Jiang Chen dare to touch him? Moreover, what he said was reasonable and well-founded. Many people were speechless. At this time, Sun Qi's words were not without reason, but he was acting recklessly. The vanguard's job was indeed to clear the obstacles, but there was no need to make unnecessary sacrifices. Disregarding the law, disobeying orders, and disturbing the morale of our troops. On the battlefield, military orders must be obeyed. Kill. Sacrifice to the heavens. Sacrifice to the war. Jiang Chen shouted in a deep voice. Everyone's spirits rose, including Sun Qi's face, which instantly darkened. Jiang Chen, you dare! I'm Commander Yu's deputy, appointed by Deputy Commander Zhang. You dare to kill me? So what if I kill you? I'm the deputy commander in charge of the vanguard, but you're shouting in front of me, disobeying orders and disregarding the law. Not only do you not care about me, the commander, but you also want to be the first to act. I haven't given the order, so how dare you act on your own? Who gave you the guts? If we don't kill you, how can we calm the morale of our troops? Chapter 4872. You can't kill me. You can't kill me. Sun Qi was scared out of his wits. He thought that Deputy Commander Zhang's name could intimidate Jiang Chen, but he did not expect Jiang Chen to be fearless and even accuse him of disobeying orders. In the army, disobeying orders was a capital offense. Kill! As soon as Jiang Chen's voice fell, De Huang raised his saber and swung it horizontally, directly cutting off Sun Qi's head with lightning speed. Blood splattered in the sky, and everyone's spirits rose. All of this happened too suddenly. Sun Qi had brought everyone into danger. He deserved to be killed. Good kill. So good that everyone slapped the table and cheered. From then on, no one dared to disobey military orders anymore. Seeing that the group of sky ferocious beasts had already charged over, this battle was inevitable. Tong Ling, take 3 people and send a message back to the main force. The vanguard has encountered enemies and urgently needs reinforcements. Jiang Chen said. Yes, sir. Tong Ling wanted to participate in the battle, but she could not disobey Jiang Chen's orders, so she could only take the 3 people and go to the rear to seek reinforcements. Soldiers, follow me into battle. Kill. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold as he took the lead and charged into the sky ferocious beasts on the dragon horse. Kill. The 400 horsemen of the apocalypse followed Jiang Chen without hesitation. Back then, on this water curtain mountain, they had not retreated even when facing the star level 6 ridged coiling dragon. Today they were the vanguard, so they could not easily retreat in this battle. Tong Ling and the others quickly retreated without stopping. They didn't dare to delay at all because they didn't know if there were stronger stellar-level great beasts behind the group of Tian Meng. However, at this moment, a meteor-like afterimage shot out and stood on the river surface, shrouded in a blue robe. It's you? What do you want? Tong Ling's face darkened. He knew the blue-robed man in front of him. Back in the dark forest, the Snow Mountain Demon's lair, the person who had plotted against them was him. I don't want to do anything. If you want to cross this path, you have to leave your head behind. The blue-robed man said with a smile. Tong Ling, you know him? The horseman of the apocalypse next to him exclaimed. Back when I was in my hometown Norton City, I was once plotted against by this fellow. I almost lost my life. You guys better be careful. Tong Ling whispered. It looks like he wants to block our way. Another horseman said. I don't care anymore. The battle ahead is urgent. I have to end it quickly. Tong Ling gritted his teeth. All right. The 4 of them worked together and charged at the blue-robed man. At this moment, the blue-robed man also moved and rushed towards the 4 of them. 5 streaks of light instantly intertwined with each other. The blue-robed man wanted to stop them. If he could use these demonic beasts to kill Jiang Chen, it would naturally be more comfortable. Therefore, cutting off their reinforcements was the most important thing. Tong Ling and the others attacked with killing intent, so they did not dare to be careless. If they were a second slower, they might lose the life of a horseman, so they could not delay. However, the blue-robed young man was extremely careful. He didn't panic when facing the 4 of them. He kept retreating as he fought. He didn't want to kill these people, but he wanted to block their path. If he delayed them for a moment, Jiang Chen and the others wouldn't be able to turn the situation around. You're right. The battle was extremely intense. Tong Ling used all his skills, and the blue-robed man's strength could not be underestimated. Both sides fought back and forth, and Tong Ling and the others became more and more anxious. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, the 4 of them were already drenched in sweat. It was not because of the battle, but because they were too impatient, causing them to lose their strength. Tong Ling, you go first. Leave the rest to us. Otherwise, we won't be able to leave. That's right. Right now, Commander Jiang must be very nervous. We can't let them continue waiting. Facing the determination of the 3, Tong Ling pondered for a moment, then nodded heavily. She withdrew from the battle and went straight to the main force. She did not look back because the 4 of them had barely fought with the blue-robed man, and it would be very difficult for the 3 of them to survive. Back then, Jiang Chen had expended a great deal of effort to defeat the blue-robed man. In this battle, she could only abandon the brothers behind her. Tong Ling sped up and flew away. The dragon horse under her feet moved as if it was flying. Not long after, she finally arrived at the area where the main force was, but they were slowly advancing. Reporting to Commander Zhang, the vanguard has been ambushed by demonic beasts and is in great danger. Requesting reinforcements. Tong Ling said impatiently with a disheveled expression. Got it. Just wait. Yu Huan glanced at Tong Ling and said indifferently. Then, she turned around and went to the rear to inform Zhang Tiance. After waiting for another incense stick to burn, Tong Ling was already very anxious, but Yu Huan had not returned, and the order had not been issued. Requesting reinforcements. Commander Zhang. Tong Ling shouted hoarsely. However, everyone remained indifferent. Even though they might want to provide reinforcements in their hearts, without orders, who would dare to act blindly without thinking? Military orders were like mountains, and disobeying them would only lead to death. Finally, after more than half a day, Yu Huan finally arrived. Commander Zhang said to let the vanguard defend, and we will definitely reinforce as soon as possible. Yu Huan said calmly. Then hurry up and leave. Tong Ling was sweating profusely, and her face turned green from anxiety. Do I need you to lecture me? Humph. Stupid girl who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Yu Huan said coldly. Commander Yu, please calm down. My little sister goes in and out of the Knights of the Apocalypse and doesn't know the rules. Please forgive me, Commander Yu. Tong Yao hurriedly stood up at this moment. Yu Huan flicked her sleeves and left, snorting coldly and unhurriedly. Sister, the 400 people of the vanguard are now in a difficult situation. We must reinforce as soon as possible. Tong Ling said nervously. I know, but everything is decided by Commander Zhang and Commander Yu. He has a grudge with Jiang Chen, so do you think he will reinforce as soon as possible? Now, we can only hope that Jiang Chen and the others can hold on a little longer. Tong Yao sighed. Tong Ling was so anxious that her eyes were red and swollen, but she could do nothing. But the truth was cruel. The enmity between Yu Huan and Jiang Chen was already irresolvable, so it would be strange if Yu Huan did not use his position to avenge his personal grudge. Tong Ling was worried about Jiang Chen and the others, so she turned around and went straight to the vanguard. At this moment, hundreds of Tian Meng rushed into the vanguard of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. In the camp, everyone fought bravely, but these guys were too strong and terrifying. Moreover, they were fighting on home ground, so there was no pressure at all. On the contrary, the Horsemen of the Apocalypse became more and more difficult. They were afraid of wolves in front and tigers behind because they did not know when this group of Tian Meng would have a leader appear. Their leader would definitely be a stellar-level great demon that could send them away at any time. More than 400 people, every step was difficult, and their hearts were full of anxiety. Why haven't the reinforcements come after so long? That's right. Did something happen to Tong Ling and the others? It's hard to say. It's been so long, so logically speaking, the reinforcements should have arrived long ago. Damn, we won't be abandoned, right? F***CK. Chapter 4873. Jiang Chen's mood was extremely solemn. This Zhang Tiance was too ruthless. In order to kill him, he did not hesitate to sacrifice 400 horsemen. It seemed that he really did not expect him to be so important. As the deputy commander, he had to kill without spilling blood. Moreover, the conflict between him and Yu Huan was already irreconcilable, so it was understandable that Zhang Tiance wanted to kill him to consolidate his position. However, Jiang Chen did not expect Zhang Tiance to be so sinister and ruthless that he did not even care about the 400 horsemen. Seeing the horsemen fall one by one, Jiang Chen's expression was extremely solemn. No matter what, as their deputy commander, as long as one of them fell, Jiang Chen would not be able to absolve himself from the blame. If not for them, it would have been impossible for him to escape from the hands of the six-ridged coiling dragon. With so many heavenly ferocious, even the array could not be used and would definitely be scattered. It was understandable for him to want to run, but Jiang Chen would not give up on these people. Hundreds of heavenly ferocious horsemen behind Jiang Chen were in chaos. Moreover, they were in someone else's territory, so it was difficult for them to move forward or retreat. As time passed, more and more people were severely injured. More than 60 people had fallen one after another, tragically killed by the heavenly ferocious. The situation became more and more difficult, and retreat became unrealistic because they were completely locked in. The heavenly ferocious relied on their unique geographical advantage to launch the fiercest attacks on the horsemen. To them, humans were the greatest invaders. Are we really going to die here? The heavens want us to die. Why? Why haven't the reinforcements come yet? Damn it, I'm about to King die. Sigh, it seems like the vanguard is cannon fodder. Haha, how laughable. The horseman of the apocalypse really makes people despair. I can't accept this, I can't accept this. Roars rang in everyone's ears. They had taken the lead for the horsemen of the apocalypse, but at this time, the reinforcements had not arrived. Even if they had been walking slowly, they had already arrived. This was completely abandoning them. Hold on, the reinforcements will be here soon. Tong Ling's voice was like a reassuring pill that made everyone calm down. Reinforcements have arrived? When their gazes landed on Tong Ling, she was the only one there. They said they'll be here soon. I'll go first. As long as we hold on, we'll have hope. Tong Ling was constantly panting, his face pale and his aura fluctuating. He was incomparably excited. No matter what, they had waited for so long, but every second, someone was heavily injured by Tian Meng. These fellows were like rabid dogs, and the Knights of the Apocalypse couldn't resist their attacks at all. People died one after another, and fresh blood dyed the river red. Their hearts were filled with indignation, but they had nothing to say. They could only charge forward with their lives on the line. Only by living could they become truly powerful. Follow me into battle. We are invincible. Jiang Chen stood with her sword, her murderous aura shocking the world. She displayed the power of a half-step star and the might of dragon transformation, sweeping away everything in her path. Tian Meng was also killed dozens of times by her, which could be considered as getting revenge for the horsemen of the apocalypse. However, the battle still did not stop. The arrival of reinforcements was like a joke to them. Jiang Chen shouldered most of Tian Meng's attacks, constantly rescuing them and forcing Tian Meng to retreat. Otherwise, the casualties of the horsemen of the apocalypse would have been even more. Ck, these bastards are trying to kill me. It seems that the horsemen of the apocalypse is really not a good place. Big Yellow scolded while feeling gloomy in his heart. He knew Jiang Chen's character very well. Unless it was absolutely necessary, Jiang Chen would never give up on these people. Furthermore, the reinforcements had yet to arrive, and the casualties of the vanguard battalion were increasing. They have all been sacrificed. Tong Ling looked at Jiang Chen and gritted her teeth. Do your best. It's fine as long as you don't feel guilty. Jiang Chen and Tong Ling looked at each other. This battle was becoming more and more tragic. Finally, when nearly half of the vanguard had died, the reinforcements finally arrived. 1,000 horsemen of the apocalypse, 2 commanders, and Yu Huan crushed over from all directions. The reinforcements are here. They're reinforcements. Ha ha ha, we're saved. Ck, so many of my brothers died before you guys came. King bastards. Sigh, the vanguard battalion. I think it's the cannon fodder battalion. Nearly half of them are dead or injured. Our hope is about to be shattered. Ha! Countless people muttered in despair. They might have been saved, but half of them had already fallen in this river, and hundreds of corpses were floating. Jiang Chen's eyes were cold. Zhang Tiance and Yu Huan, I didn't kill them, but they died because of me. If it weren't for me, perhaps they wouldn't have died. In the end, it was all because they didn't send reinforcements. This battle was full of danger, and the main culprit was Yu Huan and Zhang Tiance, who held a high position but treated human life like grass. Jiang Chen, the vanguard battalion has suffered heavy losses. You can't absolve yourself from the blame. Quickly come with me to kill the demon beasts. Leave 200 people to rescue the wounded. The rest will follow me into battle and kill these demon beasts. Show the prestige of our knights. Zhang Zhihao said in a deep voice. As the commander, he was a capable general accepted by Zhang Tiance. This time, he naturally couldn't lose face as the deputy commander. Jiang Chen frowned, but a military order couldn't be disobeyed. Deputy Commander Jiang is already exhausted. Why can't you rest with the wounded? Why are you fighting to the death? Tong Ling said, unconvinced. Because he's the leader of the vanguard battalion. Because he's shouldering the heavy responsibility of being the vanguard. He can only advance, he can't retreat. Zhang Zhihao looked at Tong Ling with disdain, oppressing Tong Ling so much that he couldn't speak. Don't worry. I'll be fine. Jiang Chen looked at Tong Ling and smiled. Jiang Chen, you can't let Commander Zhang down. There's an important consideration in assigning you as the vanguard, but you've caused the vanguard battalion to suffer heavy losses. This time you have to fight to the end, Yu Huan said with a cold smile. His eyes were dark. Jiang Chen knew that this fellow wanted him dead at every moment. Tong Ling was helpless. He could only watch Jiang Chen and the others fighting against Tian Meng. As for the rest of them, they followed the reinforcements to recover. After all, there were more than 200 wounded, and all of them had suffered heavy injuries. Now is the time for you to make up for your mistakes. Zhang Zhihao looked at Jiang Chen coldly and said, Go. Only by killing those Tian Meng can you be absolved of your crimes. The hundreds of Tian Meng were not afraid of the horsemen of the apocalypse. Their thinking was even simpler. Anyone who invaded their territory would be killed without mercy. Jiang Chen accepted the order and left. What he didn't expect was that Zhang Zhihao and Yu Huan didn't even move when he rushed into the hundreds of Tian Meng. Jiang Chen's pupils constricted. These bastards wanted to kill him with a borrowed knife. They wanted him to fight hundreds of Tian Meng alone. If this wasn't killing him, what was it? Chapter 48-74. What a horseman of the apocalypse. What a Zhang Tiance. Yu Huan, it looks like you have to kill me today. Jiang Chen said with a laugh. This is an order from the higher-ups. You led the vanguard regiment to be ambushed, failed to retreat, and lost so many people. Only by atoning for your crimes can you be forgiven by the horsemen of the apocalypse. If you can't, then die a hero in the line of duty, Yu Huan said lightly. He did not have to do it himself to kill. If you want to pin a crime on someone, you can always find a pretext. It looks like no matter what I do, I will be charged with a groundless crime. With so many Tianmeng demons, you don't even need to do anything. I will be killed by the Tianmeng demons. At that time, you can kill all the Tianmeng demons. Jiang Chen shook his head with a smile. It's useless to say more. Fight. Jiang Chen. This is your last chance. Don't let the horsemen of the apocalypse down. Don't let Commander Zhang down. Yu Huan was extremely happy as well. He knew that he was no match for Jiang Chen. That was why he decided to kill Jiang Chen with a borrowed knife. It was perfect. With Commander Zhang's permission, what else did he have to worry about? Behind him were his own people, not moving at all, and in front of him were hundreds of demons. Jiang Chen was in a dilemma and had completely fallen into a dead end. There was no road to heaven and no door to hell. It seems that Zhang Tiance has made up his mind to kill me. So many people are his accomplices. It seems that the Horsemen of the Apocalypse is also a filthy organization with no innocence to speak of. Jiang Chen laughed wildly. You dare to slander Captain Zhang? I think you must be tired of living. Captain Zhang gave you a chance to redeem yourself, but you actually dared to spout such arrogant words. What difference is there between a traitor like you and a demon? Kill him without mercy. Zhang Zhihao said coldly as he waved his hand. Initially, he wanted to kill Jiang Chen with the help of those demon beasts, but since Jiang Chen was so stubborn, he had no choice but to kill Jiang Chen as well in order to get rid of his worries. Jiang Chen sneered. It seemed like they couldn't be bothered to argue anymore. They had already regarded him as a demonic beast. 800 Knights of Apocalypse swarmed forward in an instant. Their strength was unimaginable. Even the hundreds of Tian Meng lost their original dominance. Under the charge of Zhang Zhihao and the others, countless were killed and injured. Jiang Chen had already been regarded as a rebel. Therefore, he was also under their control in this territory. Since there was no need for him to continue acting, Jiang Chen raised his sword and charged forward, killing more than 10 people in a row like a mad bull. In less than the time it took for an incense stick to burn, all the Tianmeng warriors had been killed, and they had lost more than 100 men. However, half of them were killed by Jiang Chen, which made Zhang Zhihao even angrier. You thief! How dare you be so stubborn? Quickly surrender. After I capture you, the horsemen of the apocalypse will decide what to do. Zhang Zhihao shouted sternly. Capture me? Are you worthy? Isn't it just to kill me? Why do you have to pretend? Jiang Chen shook his head and gently wiped the blood on the heavenly dragon's sword. His eyes were extremely cold, and his aura became extremely dignified. You are now a turtle in a jar. Why struggle so hard? There are so many of us. Do you really think you can escape? Zhang Zhihao laughed instead of getting angry. Jiang Chen, I advise you to surrender. This is your last chance, if you still want to die in one piece. Otherwise, if you continue to struggle, only death awaits you. Jiang Chen's voice was filled with killing intent. Yu Huan stood with his arms crossed and spoke with fervor and assurance, looking high and mighty. You are not qualified to judge me. If you want to kill me, you have to show your true abilities. Today, I, Jiang Chen, will play with you to the end. Jiang Chen said meticulously. I gave you face, but you don't want it. Even if you are the king of heaven, you have to kneel here and wait for death. You are just a traitor. Only by killing you can we show the might of the horsemen of the apocalypse. Another commander, Bao Chongtian, said disdainfully, his eyes cold. Commander Bao is right. Killing a thief is to show the might of the apocalypse. Yu Huan echoed angrily. Very well. Today, all of you must die. Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword tightly and faced the 700 horsemen of the apocalypse. His eyes were like arrows, and his killing intent was like a rainbow. He, Yu Huan, you grandson. Lord Dog has been waiting for you for a long time. Big Yellow silently appeared next to Jiang Chen with a low growl. He bared his teeth and glared at Yu Huan with his eyes wide open. You damned dog, aren't you already dead? Yu Huan's anger surged, and then he froze. Aren't you already dead? Why were you? You two were actually in cahoots. Yu Huan frowned. It seemed that what Jiang Chen said before was a lie. The two of them were in cahoots. Commander Nye and Commander Chen were both killed by you. This time, you shouldn't be able to quibble, Yu Huan said fiercely. That's right. We killed them. You and you bunch of idiots, will all become ghosts under the sword of little Chenzi. You will all be killed by us. De Huang said disapprovingly. Jiang Chen, so the deaths of Commander Chen and Commander Nye were really part of your plan. It seems that if I don't kill you today, the heavens will not tolerate it. Zhang Zhihao's anger surged. He had a good relationship with Commander Chen, but Jiang Chen had killed both of them. This debt must be repaid by Jiang Chen. Those who kill will always be killed. Could it be that they want my life? Should I just wait here for them to take it? Ha ha ha. Isn't your goal the same? In order to kill me, you've schemed and schemed. Now, you don't need to hide anymore. All of you come. I, Jiang Chen, will accompany you to the end. Jiang Chen said coldly. Kill. For the glory of the horsemen of the apocalypse, for the two dead commanders, fight, fight, fight. Bao Chongtian's roar was like thunder. With Yu Huan as the vanguard, he led hundreds of horsemen and directly rushed toward Jiang Chen and De Huang. At this moment, the two brothers looked at each other fearlessly. A great battle was imminent, and they would never retreat. Moreover, Yu Huan was right in front of them. De Huang's eyes had already turned extremely red. Yu Huan brat, I'll fight you. De Huang roared and rushed to the front, confronting Yu Huan. New and old grudges. The two of them were full of hatred. Loser, you still want to fight me? Ha! Yu Huan angrily pointed at De Huang and said, You shameless dog. You shameless dog. If you hadn't brought people with you, would I have lost to you? Today, I'll let you see Lord Dog's power. Provoked by Yu Huan, De Huang was even more furious and wanted to tear Yu Huan in half. Jiang Chen was calm and unruffled in the face of the horseman army. Black King kill! Jiang Chen shouted angrily. The Black King led 3,000 demon beasts and galloped out of the Buddha prison palace. The appearance of a magnificent army was terrifying. The 700 horsemen of the apocalypse instantly became insignificant and were completely surrounded by thousands of demon beasts. Their expressions all changed. How is this possible? Chapter 4875. How is this guy able to control so many demonic beasts? This is simply unimaginable. Bao Chongtian's expression was extremely ugly. Let's make our move. To capture the bandits, we must first capture the leader. Once we kill Jiang Chen, these demonic beasts will definitely collapse on their own. Zhang Zhihao said. All right. With a single thought, the two of them charged at Jiang Chen in an instant. The great battle had already begun, and a storm was approaching. Facing two half-step star level 3-star transformation experts, Jiang Chen was also filled with battle intent. His eyes were burning with passion. These two people were his best touchstones. Facing Jiang Chen's army of demonic beasts, the ones who were truly shocked were Yu Huan and the others. This was because this guy's methods were too horrifying. They didn't dare to imagine that the battle that they thought was going to be a sure win had now turned into a battle where their lives were hanging by a thread. In an instant, they were the ones who were going to lose their lives. Yu Huan's mood was incomparably solemn. They had to kill this damn dog and Jiang Chen in this battle. Otherwise, they might fall into dire straits. Little bastard, Grandpa Dog will skin you alive today. De Huang took the initiative to attack. His current strength was much stronger than before. He was not the slightest bit afraid of fighting Yu Huan. His goal was to kill him, and no one could stop him. You've come at the right time. A defeated opponent dares to speak so boldly? Ha ha ha. Yu Huan said with a laugh. He was not afraid at all when facing De Huang. However, Yu Huan did not expect that in just 3 moves, De Huang had already forced him to retreat. His terrifying strength was like a mountain descending from the sky, pressuring Yu Huan so much that he could not breathe and was forced to retreat step by step. No. This is impossible. Yu Huan's face was pale and his eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. How long had it been? This damn dog's strength had actually reached the 3rd level of the half-step star level. This was simply unbelievable and unheard of. The 3rd level of star transformation was comparable to Zhang Zhihao's strength, and Yu Huan was no match for him at all. Moreover, De Huang's strength had improved by leaps and bounds, and he could not be measured by common sense at all. Within 3 moves, he was already powerless. Yu Huan had thought too simply about this battle. He had originally thought that since he had defeated De Huang once with the help of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, it would definitely not be a problem this time. However, he was wrong. De Huang's strength was too ferocious. His sharp claws tore through the void, and the world changed color. He was infinitely close to the stellar level. Yu Huan was defeated, and his body and mind were greatly shaken. He, son of a B*TCH, I didn't expect you to be so disappointing. How can you fight me with this little ability? Big Huang took advantage of the situation and attacked relentlessly. Yu Huan was suppressed by Big Huang to the point that he could not breathe. The waves of water completely drenched Yu Huan. Big Huang, who was like a fish in water, tore Yu Huan's clothes one after another. Blood dripped from Yu Huan's body, and the wounds were so deep that the bones could be seen. Yu Huan's badly mutilated body continuously resisted, but Yu Huan could not fight back at all. Fear kept growing in his heart, and he felt suffocated. Fear and despair accompanied by ear-piercing screams. Yu Huan's body was already riddled with holes, but as long as he still had a breath left, it was better to live than to die. Who would be willing to die? Yu Huan's screams were extremely horrifying, making many horsemen of the apocalypse's hair stand on end. After all, the monster army they were facing was also very difficult. They could not fight 1 against 4 or even more. Under the leadership of the Black King, these people were like mad dogs, rushing into the enemy's formation and surrounding them. No one could escape death. What should we do? If this goes on, we'll all die. What's the rush? These monster beasts are just a bunch of thieves. What's there to be afraid of? Humph. Don't forget that we are horsemen of the apocalypse. That's right. In this land of the apocalypse Milky Way City, we are invincible. With Commander Jiang and Commander Bao here, what do we have to fear? They are already capturing the traitor Jiang Chen. Once they capture Jiang Chen, these monster beasts will be leaderless and will collapse on their own. Hee. That's right. Charge. Exterminate this group of rascals. Although the horsemen of the apocalypse were shocked, they did not panic. The 800 horsemen frantically attacked, but there were too many monster beasts under the Black King. More than 3,000 monster beasts made it impossible for them to reverse the situation. They could only hold on. The most difficult one was Yu Huan. Right now, he only had a pair of underpants left. His entire body was like a bloody gourd. His white bones were in so much pain that he could not breathe, and his skin and flesh were torn. Lord Dog, I beg you, please let me go. Let me live, I beg you. At this time, Yu Huan did not care about his status as a deputy commander. He directly knelt in front of De Huang and kept kowtowing. His expression was as ugly as it could be. If he did not lower his head, he would very likely die from excessive blood loss. There were dozens of claw marks on his body. That kind of despair was not something anyone could understand. Step by step, he walked toward the abyss, feeling despair bit by bit. This was how De Huang wanted to take revenge on Yu Huan. It was not easy to die so quickly. Of course, it was even more impossible to live. He could neither live nor die. Do you want to live? He. When you locked me in the dungeon, why didn't you think that you would have such a day? Do you think I'm so easy to fool? Those who offend me will not have a good ending. De Huang did not fall for this trick at all. He would definitely kill Yu Huan with his own hands. No one could save him. If you kill me, the horsemen of the apocalypse will never let you go, Yu Huan said fiercely. Yu Huan said in a threatening manner. His eyes had already become a bloody mess, and his voice was hoarse. Is that so? Then if I leave all of you horsemen here, no one will know, right? You want to kill little Qinzi. Isn't that how you do it? Giving him a taste of his own medicine, how comfortable. De Huang patted his dog belly and said calmly. Yu Huan was in complete despair. It was as if his soul had been sucked out. De Huang was never tired of it. He wanted to torture Yu Huan mentally and physically. De Huang's principle of taking revenge had always been to seek revenge, and no one could do it. On the other side, Jiang Chen was fighting Zhang Zhihao and Bao Changtian alone, the two third-level astral transformation experts, but Jiang Chen was unruffled. With the heavenly dragon sword in hand, he was fighting 1 against 2. Under the dragon transformation, he was fearless. Jiang Chen's boundless sword had made a new breakthrough. In addition to the dragon transformation, the current Jiang Chen could be said to be the #1 expert below the Eternal Star Realm. Even if the two of them joined forces, they still wouldn't be able to suppress Jiang Chen. Chapter 4876. Jiang Chen, I won't rest until you're dead. Zhang Zhihao swept his spear and pointed it at Jiang Chen. The spear radiance was unleashed from his body, and 100-meter-long red light was unleashed, creating endless waves of energy. It was like a rampaging dragon, shaking the heavens and earth. Bao Changtian wasn't to be outdone either. The steel-blood dual truncheons in his hands clanged endlessly like the roar of a giant dragon. Leaving a trail of afterimages in the air, the battle between the three of them was extremely intense. Zhang Zhihao and Bao Changtian were shocked. They knew that Jiang Chen was stronger than Yu Huan, but in such a short period of time, Jiang Chen had improved so much. They didn't dare to imagine that Jiang Chen would be able to challenge their commander without any fear. Instead, he became more and more courageous as the battle went on. This was something that they didn't expect. Capturing the ringleader first wasn't as simple as it seemed. Yu Huan had become that dead dog's toy, and the 800 cavalrymen had lost their initiative. If they didn't get rid of Jiang Chen as soon as possible, their situation would become even more dangerous. Kill! Bao Changtian caught up to Jiang Chen's limitless sword, but it was getting more and more difficult for him. He had to retreat as he fought. Their initial plan was to end the battle as soon as possible, and get rid of Jiang Chen and his army of demonic beasts. But now they had lost the initiative. If they did not make a decision soon, they would suffer a crushing defeat. Golden Venom Dragon Drill. Zhang Zhihao's spear pierced through, spinning and soaring, stirring up a 100-meter whirlpool under the river. Falling rain flying stars truncheon. Streaks of starlight rained down, and the truncheon shadows flickered, sealing off Jiang Chen's path from all directions. Die, knave! The two worked together, and their attacks were as sharp as knives, tearing through the sky. 29 swords, hidden in the shadows. In the name of the sword. Jiang Chen did not look around as he moved his sword towards the east. The torrent was like a tide, the 1,000-sword maze. The surrounding river turned into countless sword shadows at this moment. The ice turned into swords and shot towards the heavens. Limitless sword. Hidden edge. Break. Jiang Chen unleashed all of his strength. The hidden edge sword art burst forth in an instant. Be it the spear radiance or the saber shadows, they were all destroyed in an instant. Jiang Chen's hidden edge sword art pierced through their bodies. Zhang Zhihao and Bao Changtian looked at each other. Their eyes were filled with despair. Their hearts were pierced by thousands of swords, and they both fell into a pool of blood below the rivers. Unable to withstand a single blow, said Jiang Chen Lung Lung. The coldness on her face grew colder. The next one is Zhang Tian's. Don't let me catch you, or I'll kill you at all costs. Commander Jiang is dead? Are you serious? It can't be, right? How could Commander Jiang be defeated by Jiang Chen? There's still Commander Bao. Commander Bao is also dead. Both commanders are dead. Commander Yu. Everyone's expression changed. Out of the original 800 horsemen, only less than 500 were left. The deaths of Zhang Zhihao and Bao Chongtian had caused them to lose their will to fight. Their leaders had been killed, leaving them without a leader. In an instant, they had turned into a disorderly mob, without a backbone. Just like what Zhang Zhihao and Bao Chongtian had thought before, shoot the horse first, and capture the leader first. As long as Jiang Chen fell, they would also be like a plate of loose sand. And this time, it was clear that Zhang Zhihao and Bao Chongtian had lost. Yu Huan's life was also hanging by a thread. Seeing Zhang Zhihao and Bao Chongtian killed by Jiang Chen, he lost all hope. He swallowed 3 mouthfuls of blood and died in despair. Hundreds of horsemen of the apocalypse scattered like birds and beasts, wanting to escape. They only had one thought now, and that was to run. Without their commander, they had no combat power to speak of, let alone morale. Don't leave a single one alive. Kill, kill, kill. De Huang roared and charged into the crowd. He did not have a good impression of these horsemen, and this group of people wanted to kill them all, so he naturally could not be merciful. He charged into the enemy formation with the Black King and constantly overturned the insufferably arrogant horsemen. The scene was extremely spectacular and completely one-sided. The horsemen kept shouting and begging for mercy, but they were Zhang Tian's subordinates, and they had been ordered to kill him. Jiang Chen had long since decided that he had to kill them all. Only by strangling any trace of danger in the cradle could he not leave behind any future troubles. In the end, all 800 horsemen of the apocalypse died on the river. Countless corpses floated on the river, and all of them lost their vitality. It was like a dead sea with rivers of blood. Jiang Chen stood on the river in a deathly silence. Although the army of 3,000 demons had suffered some losses, it wasn't much. After all, they had the absolute advantage in numbers. Therefore, the defeated horsemen of the apocalypse couldn't resist the demon army at all and were defeated like a landslide. He, it's really satisfying. Yu Huan, that son of AB*TCH, was angered to death by me. De Huang cursed. The anger in his heart had finally been vented. By the way, little Chenzi, what do you plan to do now? The horsemen of the apocalypse will never let us go. Let's go and roam the world with Lord Dog. Haha. Return to the horsemen of the apocalypse. Jiang Chen said lightly. F***CK. Are you courting death? We killed thousands of horsemen of the apocalypse. Do you think the horsemen of the apocalypse will let us go? You actually dared to walk right into their trap. De Huang glared at Jiang Chen. Don't worry, we killed everyone, so there's no need to worry at all. Even if we go back, I won't be afraid to face Zhang Tian's. In this perilous water curtain mountain, who can they blame for being killed because they were too weak? I don't want to roam the world with you. Ha ha ha, the Heaven Awakening Galaxy City is so fun. I haven't played enough. How can we leave such a good place? If we leave this place, where can we go? We have to wait until our strength reaches the star rank before we can step on the stars. Otherwise, we will be caught no matter where we go in the apocalypse starfield. Do you think the horsemen of the apocalypse are vegetarians? Without the monster army, the two of us would be finished with so many horsemen. Jiang Chen shrugged. Anyway, no one knows you now. Come back to the horsemen of the apocalypse with me. As for Zhang Tian's, I want to see what his expression will be like. Kaka, you're really something. Nothing ventured. Nothing gained. Lord Dog will accompany you to the end. At most, I'll just cause trouble with the horsemen of the apocalypse again. De Huang curled his lips and said disapprovingly. Let's go. Jiang Chen looked at De Huang and completely ignored the thousands of floating corpses on the river, heading straight for the injured. Jiang Chen naturally wouldn't leave so easily. He still had to find the herbs needed for the 5-barrier pill. Only by refining the 5-barrier pill could he guarantee a smooth breakthrough to the star rank. Since ancient times, there had been countless people who were half-step into the star rank, but only 1 in 10,000 could truly break through to the star rank. Therefore, Jiang Chen had to be careful. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.